traditional folks are going to be incredibly skeptical about what's going on right now. And a lot of you have asked, therefore, I'll share a little bit with you, at least what I know, which is a very little bit about it. A lot of you have asked, and I said, all right, so here goes. Again, talking about Luck with some folks over the weekend, it certainly seems that he's still obviously dealing with discomfort in that lower leg area. Nobody has suggested that it is Achilles related, but I think that there's some wondering whether this calf thing, may go down like what we saw with Durant, which is something that we have talked about. Therefore, that's why he doesn't want to chance it. This is a he decision across the board. This is an Andrew Luck decision. I'm going to get out there when I'm damn well ready, and that's something else that he has said in the past as well. What was told to me, it was kind of interesting too, because people want to know, when did this happen? How did this go down? Blah, blah, blah. They have said training, which is accurate, but I was told that he was working with this kind of pain at the end of last year. So that's where, and I'm not going to say it's a great deal of newness, because you got to understand here, everything is going to be absolutely as tight-lipped as possible. I mean, good luck, because Chris doesn't want anything to get out. Certainly the Colts don't want anything to get out. And listen, when you're dealing with Andrew Luck, I mean, he is absolutely airtight. But I was told that he was dealing with this to a degree at the end of last year, and then in training, it kind of, no pun intended here, popped back up. And you're not going to jeopardize it, at least at this point in time in camp. It is something that did, again, he had to play with at the end of last year, from what I was told. I mean, again, you don't know what level it is, but it's something that was noticed toward the end of last year. And listen, I'm just putting two and two together on this. Maybe that's why they believe, whatever. If he had to play this Sunday, he could play this Sunday, because essentially he did deal with that sort of pain at the end of last year. Again, that is what was told to me over the weekend. There's nothing groundbreaking about it whatsoever, but it does kind of paint a little bit more of a picture as to why they feel so certain that he is going to be available. Now, at the same time, because you have been down this path before, again, with a different injury altogether, but been down this path before, as we talked about on Friday, until you see him, I'm sure most of you out there are going to remain skeptical about it, which I think is completely understandable. I do. Because you've been down that path before. But as I've said before, with the Colts in mind, I mean, this all is, like, give you a great example. Was it Bleacher Report that had this over the weekend, and Mike Freeman? Mike Freeman had a tidbit, I think a tweet over the weekend, about how NFL people are telling him that Luck is not going to be ready for week one and it's going to be Jacoby Brissett. Now, again, that I guarantee you that is something that I would hear, and I have not heard that. That is something certainly out here, and I haven't heard that. So they are still working under the operation that he is going to be ready. He is going to be ready when he feels he is going to be ready. And that is going to be that. Kind of interested to see if he's going to, we'll talk to Stephen Holder about this in the 5 o'clock hour, when they expect Luck to meet with the media again, because I thought the first time around 2 years ago, and again, much different circumstances, but I thought the first time around, one of the real reasons why this that went so far off the tracks was because he was kind of like a ghost. He was invisible. He wasn't around. It was like a myth. And then from everybody to owner and head coach. I mean, you had Jim, getting on the air and saying what Jim said. And when Jim said 2 years ago, it was kind of between his ears. That's still the case. I think most people that cover this team really much harder than I do on a daily basis would tell you that a lot of this does lie, much like the owner said 2 years ago, at least with that particular injury within the ears. But they're not going to, or at least he's not going to jeopardize what he feels they could be until he feels, I guess, as close as 100%. I tell you, it was interesting last week, and we touched on this when Frank Reich mentioned he still has pain. I would probably use the route discomfort for the sake of it, but they say pain, and if that's what they're saying and that's complete transparency, then so be it. So basically where we are, you might be ahead of things as far as feeling better, but you don't feel good enough to get back out there right now. And let's face it, until he does, these are all fair questions to ask. All. And I continuously try to ask and wonder, but these are all really fair questions. Because, again, this is not the first time you have been down this path, even though it's not, again, similar. Talking about a shoulder to a calf to just wondering, you don't want this thing to pop and lead down a Durant path, to just in your mind wanting to be as close to 100% as possible. There are a lot of similarities here, and that's why all these questions are going to be fair. And then coming up next Monday, if there's another announcement that's going to be made where Luck is not going to be ready for practice, and then you're starting to really screw with some practice time here. I think we all kind of feel okay about it, and then you kind of wonder what's going on, and that's going to be the timetable coming up on Monday. That's something we'll talk to Stephen Holder about coming up at 5. A lot of you probably will not have a change of opinion right now, but that is the latest, if not a lot, but certainly a little bit of. And if you're asking me to pin it down, I don't know when. I mean, he certainly looked okay. I don't remember anything down the stretch of the season where, he was talking about, feeling any discomfort there, but that was what was told to me, and I'm assuming here this is where it goes as far as believing that he's going to be able to play, even though he hasn't practiced. So, he could play on Sunday because I guess essentially back during the end of the season, he played with the discomfort that went along with this. So we'll find out, hopefully, a little bit more, and again, kind of check mark, if you will, Monday, a week from today, and we'll be up there, and we'll see where this thing is, and if it hasn't moved forward, and then we'll probably have to move the DEFCON number up, I would imagine. Stephen Holder and I have a conversation about it coming up at the 5 o'clock hour today. So if you guys want to jump on board, you certainly can. Chris Denari is going to join us bottom of this hour. The NBA will release its schedule, and we'll talk about some of the games the Pacers will have. And frankly, we haven't talked to Chris in forever, but we'll do that at the bottom of the hour with the Pacers schedule release. If you missed the conversation with Miles Turner last week, the podcast is up, 1075thefan.com. Miles, of course, was starting in the scrimmage with Team USA. I guess it's fair to say there's an expectation that he makes the team, but there was some good back and forth as far as Miles and what he has been told by Greg Popovich and staff they expect out of him if indeed he is a part of Team USA and they go to China. First things first, they would go to Australia and then go to China. And then for the Pacers, he'd come back, they'd get ready, and then he'd end up going to India for 2 preseason games with the Pacers, so there's a lot of travel there. Well, we'll talk about that and more on the schedule release coming up with Chris Denari at about 3:30. I know a lot of you have been certainly watching a little MLB. Don't think there's any question about that over the weekend. And what did I say about the Reds? If you win 3 or 4, you feel really good. But you split, and while it's far from a travesty to split with a team like the Cubs, you don't get anybody really to buy in. And that's kind of the way this Reds team is. And I agree that it's probably a year too early. But, man, there are moments when you feel really good and you're thinking, hey, that team is in the now. And then, like yesterday, you get up 3-0 and you let the Cubs climb back in. And listen, give credit. Like I gave credit Thursday night to Tyler Chatwood for stepping in and solidifying things after Cole Hamels was a mess early in that game. I mean, you look at the Cubs bats yesterday. They took full advantage. I mean, the end of the stint, and up until the end, I mean, Castillo had looked awesome. I mean, held the best swing on him, I think, up until right before he was pulled was John Lester, I think. but it's just not going to be enough for this Reds team. Just not going to be enough. You're going to have to get into some type of win streak, and splitting 2-2 at home with the Cubs at the top of the NL Central is not it. So again, they're probably a year away. There are moments when you really like them. There are moments when you kind of scratch your head and wonder what the hell's going on, like Michael Lorenzen was one yesterday too. And again, you saw it coming. Once Haywood got on with that infield single, then he had a base hit to follow there, and then it was Chris Bryant. You knew when Chris Bryant stepped to the plate, you just kind of knew, you go, uh-oh, this is not going to end well for a Reds fan. And it did not end well for Reds fans yesterday. No doubt about that. But anyway, we'll see. Entertaining baseball. Saturday probably was the signature performance by the Reds. And, Cubs fans wouldn't agree, but signature performance by the Reds this season, getting out to a big lead and having Joe Madden have to pull his guys and give him a little bit of a rest, I'm sure made Reds fans, especially those that were over there that are mixed in with Cubs fans at Great American Ballpark, probably felt really good. But that's just kind of the Reds of 2019. They tease you enough to pull you in a little bit, and then unfortunately they just can't close the deal. Yeah, Aquino was pretty awesome to watch, especially on Saturday. I can't imagine that he continues the torrid pace. It was funny. We were talking about this on Friday, about the Thursday night game. He goes yard, twice on Friday or on Thursday, check that. And then they don't throw one in the zone the rest of the way. And, man, he is swinging. But he got right back into it. More home runs, 3 on Saturday? And then they threw him, really, Tom Brenneman got irate about this, but frankly, if I'm the pitcher out there and this guy's in the zone, I don't know what else you do besides try to get him to chase, and right now that's kind of the book on him. You try to get him to chase. But Thom was irate. Thom didn't like it yesterday either. Do you have the Chris Bryant home run call from yesterday from Tom? You got to find that. That's pretty classic. Let me know when you have that ready. Tom wasn't thrilled about it, as you can probably imagine. And Cubs fans are probably laughing. There are probably a couple of Reds fans that laugh a little bit too, to be quite honest. But Tom was not thrilled about it. If you guys want to jump in a little MLB, we certainly can do that. You need to really believe a run like the Mets. And as I mentioned, Greg, week before last, called in here and said the Mets were going to be the major factor, and I laughed. And he was absolutely right. But you got to go on a Mets or an Indians type of run to make real, true believers out of this. And they've just been unable to do so. They've been entertaining, but unable to do so. All right. In the history of bad takes, and who knows how this is going to end up working out, right? Who knows? But in the history of bad takes, me suggesting, and listen, I said a wide receiver equal to or greater than T.Y. Hilton. But clearly I was pointing the finger at Antonio Brown in the offseason. So that is going to go on the history. That is going to go on the wall of bad takes right there. Like, that's right up there. I'm trying to think. That might be right up there with the Peyton Manning needs to stay and Andrew Luck can back him up take. I think as it turns out right now, and who knows what's going to happen with Antonio Brown. I mean, you talk about something of just pure idiocy. Yeah, about the helmet. Got to change the helmet. I can't play ever again without my helmet. I got to have my helmet. Absolutely incredible. But I thought at the time you needed a wide receiver equal to or greater than. So you put that up on the wall because I did point the finger at Antonio Brown, and that's what we do here. I mean, I'll call myself out for bad takes. Yeah, I'm just not going to disappear behind the curtain and hope that you all forget about it and then say something completely different than what I said back in, February or March? So, yeah, I can't hide from that one. Now, who knows? Maybe in 3 months, if he's tearing it up and he's got good feet, and he's happy with his helmet, and things are going well, and he's not blaming his quarterback and not wanting to leave or retire or just be a complete jackass, maybe things look different then. But as of right now, that looks like a historically bad take. I don't know. Historically bad take? It's bad, though. And listen, I'm not going to use that whole phrasing of, well, you guys wanted it too. Like I'm 13 years old. Well, they did it too. Well, you guys are riding around without your license and you got pulled over in trouble. Well, they were doing it too. That never flew then and is not going to fly now. Even though we know it's true, but it doesn't fly. Yeah, there are conspiracy theories. We live in a world where everybody wants to drop a conspiracy theory, and frankly, I don't mind listening to them, but I don't know if there's any big conspiracy regarding Antonio Brown and his idiocy going on right now. I just think that's who he is. That's just him. That's just it. I mean, I think we all have these common things that we do, right? That may irritate somebody else, may irritate everybody else, but it's just like it is just woven into our inner fabric. Therefore, we're always going to do it. Like I'm always going to complain that my knees hurt like a big baby all the time. Just whine and cry and complain. Always want the quick fix. These are some things that you're ever going to get out of somebody, and just this petulant behavior is not ever going to be the case either. But, yeah, Hard Knocks. We talked about Hard Knocks being a generational deal because Kyle likes it over there, and I really don't dig on it too much. I can take it or leave it. I'm assuming it's probably going to be worth watching. The only thing is I don't need the John Gruden show. I mean, if you want John Gruden to have a show, give John Gruden a show. I don't need the John Gruden show. I want to see a little bit. I mean, we know John Gruden and the eyebrows and the smart-ass remarks and, being smarter than everybody else. We know that. I mean, if you want to have the John Gruden show, have the John Gruden show. But I don't think it all has to be about him. I mean, my goodness. You think that Hard Knocks has ever fallen into a ridiculous... I mean, they have had some ridiculous storylines. I mean, hell, Vontae Davis with the Dolphins went in to Joe Philbin's office and got traded, if you remember that, traded to here. But that's not even in the ballpark. Now, he had some ridiculous behavior leading up to it, but still wasn't in the ballpark of this right now. There is so much. I mean, frostbitten feet, wet socks, cryotherapy, France. You know what? I can't wear my helmet. I'm going to repaint my old one. And then if they don't let me wear my old helmet, then I'm going to quit. It's just amazing stuff. It really is. Let's face it. We can't, as NFL fans, we could not function without the diva wide receiver aspect, right? And it's always good, and it's certainly enjoyable just as long as it's on somebody else's team. But we feast off of that, don't we? I mean, every sports media outlet in the United States feasts off of this. I mean, as storylines go, as consistent storylines go, that, I mean, this is the diva wide receiver is every bit as good as the Pete Rose Hall of Fame argument. Is it not? Because you can count on it. At least now the Pete Rose argument disappeared, but there were like 2 decades where you could count on it being rehashed. But with this, there's going to be somebody else. There's always going to be somebody else. At that level of talent, everybody is absolutely ready, willing, and able to deal with it, to function with it, to get used to it, to give into it just because of the talent. Hey, you as a football fan, you need the diva wide receiver as much as some of these teams feel they do, right? Anybody out there ever get tired of the storylines? And before you answer, yes, I am right now, think of what this Antonio Brown saga has brought to you. I mean, it's not anything that's unoriginal here. These are they just constantly give you incredibly ridiculous storylines. Wet socks, cryotherapy, France. Painted helmet. Can't wear my helmet. Going to retire if I can't wear my helmet. This is stuff we have not encountered before. And let's face it, it's kind of the lifeblood of the NFL. What's Stephen A. Smith going to scream about for 35 minutes without this? Something else, but not something that has this type of originality to it. It's going to be the same old otherwise. You need it. You need the diva wide receiver as a story and a conversational piece as much as some of these coaches believe that they need it and will put up with it. Quick break and we'll come back. Chris Denari, other side. Do we know what Pacer games are going to be on national TV yet? Have you seen anything? 3 o'clock was the release, right, Kyle? What do you got over there?
Looks like we have 6 national TV games. 6
in all. Is this including NBA TVs?
No, that's just TNT, ESPN.
TNT and ESPN. 6. When's the, what are we looking for there? Give me some interesting dates, if you would. Interesting encounters.
I was just able to get it right now because it's down on Pacers.com. There must be too many people going to the website. So I just finally was able to see it, but looks like the Lakers are in town December 17th.
Oh, man, December the 17th. Well, I mean, hopefully they'll be going over some rest time.
The Clippers are coming back. Paul George comes back December the 9th.
Wow, within a week of one another?
Yep.
Maybe you get a little bit of load management here, everybody. All right, quick break and we'll come back. Denari, we'll discuss that coming up at the bottom of the hour. We'll get back to you coming up in a minute, too. Stephen Holder in the 5 o'clock hour. More on Luck, more on the Colts, more on the Browns coming into town later on this week. We'll be up at Westfield Grand Park on Wednesday and Thursday. Back with you next.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
An effective defense often hinges on sophisticated strategies relating to income tax projections, business valuations, spousal support claims. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 317-322-0122 or visit online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Indianapolis. Cordell & Cordell, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
Korn and Alice in Chains with special guests Under Oath and Fever 333. Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center, August 20th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Korn and Alice in Chains. Part of the Coors Light concert series.
Hey, it's Stan Doggett here for Family Leisure. You know how much I love my spa from Family Leisure. Guess what? It's back. That's right. America's largest spa dealer is having the world's biggest spa sale. Over 1,200 spas, 5 manufacturers, no games, no gimmick. Higher quality spas, better service, lower prices. $8,000 spas, only $49.99. $5,000 spas, only $24.99. Special financing available. Over 50 models to choose from and spas from $12.99. Nobody beats Family Leisure. Nobody.
Family and fun come together.
August 2nd through 18th, your Indiana State Fair celebrates heroes in the heartland.
Today is First Responders Day, presented by Indiana Department of Homeland Security. First responders and families receive free admission all day. Join us to celebrate our heroes behind the badge, plus meet Superman. And don't miss the Happy Together Tour performing on the Bet Indiana Free Stage.
Heroes in the Heartland, presented by Indiana Donor Network at your Indiana State Fair.
Hoosier fans, Indiana football tickets are on sale now for the 2019 season. IU football hosts 6 home games this fall, including matchups against Big Ten East rivals, the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Michigan Wolverines. Fans can purchase single game tickets as low as $20 and $200 for season tickets. For complete ticket information, visit IUHoosiers.com today. Go IU!
Tuesdays are the worst. They're all that stands between you and the downhill part of the week. But now they're a lot less worse, because Wing Tuesdays at B-Dubs are buy one, get one free traditional wings. So Monday, you may kick off the week. Wednesday, you may have a cool nickname. Thursday, you might be the almost weekend. But watch your back, because Tuesdays just officially became Wing Tuesdays. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar! Buy one traditional wings order and get one of equal value free. Participation and promotional details vary by location. Check in with your favorite Buffalo Wild Wings to learn more about this offer.
Progressive presents Get Pumped. Inspiration to help you do insurance stuff.
Hey, get your head in the game. This ain't no exhibition match. This is for real. You've got a house to insure, and there are no excuses because Progressive's Home Quote Explorer makes it easier than ever to get the coverage you need. Here's some music to get you pumped. Dum chugga 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 meow meow meow. Dum chugga chugga chugga. Feel that confidence? Dum chugga chugga chugga. Did I say stop saving money? No. Dum chugga chugga chugga. Meow meow.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Sports with Dan Dockich.
Rock Ya-Sin joins us. Like, would you say that you have the ultimate respect for where you're at and want to keep it there?
100%, definitely. To continue to get better. I want to keep my mind and my mentality of outworking people. No matter how much success God blesses me with in this game or in any aspect of life, I want to keep that same grind, that same mentality that I'm still trying to outwork everybody.
Dan Dockich, weekdays, noon till 3 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Give me that phone. Now you listen to me, mister. God did not put me on this earth to be awakened by filthy suggestions from a foul-mouthed hooligan like you.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
A laser to center field for a single in the sixth inning. And it's in the air to left field, and the Cubs have taken the lead. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Play that one more time.
A laser to center field for a single in the sixth inning. And it's in the air to left field, and the Cubs have taken the lead. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Tom Brenneman, Reds Television Network, was salty about that yesterday. Is wear that thing on your sleeve, my brother. Wear it on your sleeve. I swear to you, this just came across my desktop. And I'm not making. I love Joey downstairs, and I don't know if it's Joey who came up with the headline at 107.5 The Fan here. Do the Colts need Andrew Luck? Do the Colts need Andrew Luck? Is that what my assumption here is? You just run out of headlines at some point. Just, whatever. How am I going to headline this? After 2 out of the last 3 years, you just run out of headlines. Yeah. Do they need Andrew Luck? Well, that's pretty good, man. I love Joey Molinaro downstairs, though, so I am not making light of him. And, Joey, if you want to tell me who actually put that up there and wrote that headline, let me know. I love it. That is just, you know what? I got nothing else. We've asked, it's like I think everybody out there asking Frank Reich all these questions about Luck. At some point, you just kind of run out. And as I mentioned last week, Reich can run around and, still answer the question without really saying anything new. And that's a skill. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline right now. He is our friend. He is the voice of the Pacers. He is Chris Denary. How's the new digs, man?
Hey, it's been great. I spent the last 3 days, moving stuff. We don't officially leave. I own 2 houses for a couple of weeks.
You've been off the grid essentially, though, Chris, for like a month, man.
Yeah, I have. We came back. I think I last talked to you. We came back from vacation in Michigan, and we found this. We saw this house on a Friday, bought it on a Saturday. it happened really, really fast. But we're really thrilled. It's a cool 1930 Craftsman house that's been totally redone inside. I've got 3/4 of an acre in Carmel, and we couldn't be happier. It's really cool. My wife's done a great job thus far. I mean, we've got rooms set. If you walked in, you'd think we were living here right now.
Oh.
In fact, I'm here right now, just putting some stuff away, and so it's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's definitely the right time of year for me to do this. It's not as busy. August is a time where a lot of the players are gone, the coaches are taking some time off. So, it's been really cool.
It's funny, you walk in our front door right now, it looks like we just moved in, and we've lived there for 15 years. So it looks like we're still moving in right now. That's the way that it looks. All right, I got to ask you this. I don't know if you had time because it was just released at the top of the hour to look over the Pacers' schedule. If so, what do you think?
Yeah, I've looked at it, and it's a very interesting start. When you think about you play Cleveland a couple of times, Detroit a couple of times. I look at, I tend to look at when you go on the road, you make your first real road trip right after Thanksgiving, Philadelphia, Memphis, OKC, Detroit, New York. You go west after the first of the year. You play the Clippers and the Lakers in March and April back-to-back, so we'll stay right across from Staples Center then. I haven't had a total chance to digest it, but it looks pretty favorable. There aren't a lot of multi-game road trips, if you think about it. There is one to start the year. You open at home against Detroit on a Wednesday, and then at Cleveland, at Detroit, at Brooklyn. I saw there were a couple of unique things. The Pacers play Toronto on a Wednesday and a Friday in a home and home, and they play Minnesota in a home and home on a Wednesday and a Friday, which doesn't usually happen in the NBA. But no real surprises. I haven't, totally digested it, but it looks like a pretty favorable schedule. They've really managed the back-to-backs. They have managed the 4 games in 5 days. You don't do much of that anymore. So from that standpoint, from what I can see, it's a pretty good schedule.
I have noticed this, and Chris Denary, the voice of the Pacers, he's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, and I always, again, tell everybody to watch the television broadcast on Fox Sports Indiana. I mean, the hell with the national group. I never say go to the national group, but just for the sake of this question, it is interesting that the national games and all the national games are beginning in February. Therefore, the expectation is that one Victor Oladipo will be back by that time. That's my assumption there.
I would say you're probably right. When you look at how they factor things in, that New Orleans is going to get a lot with Zion, and of course the Lakers and the Clippers, and I think it's going to be a fascinating year. I think there are 8 to 10 teams that think they can win the NBA title next year, but I guess no surprise, we still don't have any timetable for when Victor Oladipo will be back. I think most people talking hopefully sometime in December or maybe right around the first of the year. And that would make sense from a national perspective, how they've looked at the Pacers, even though I think most people have the Pacers anywhere from 3 to 6 in the Eastern Conference this year, despite possibly not having Victor Oladipo for a couple of months. But 5 ESPN games, which we would do side by side on Fox Sports Indiana, and the only game that we wouldn't do would be the home game against Portland on Thursday, February 27th. That is the only TNT game on the schedule. So, no, I think you're right. I think that probably factored in from a national perspective when they thought Victor Oladipo would be back.
It's Chris Denary, voice of the Pacers, Andy Moore, Automotive Group hotline. Talked to Miles Turner last week. He was in Vegas trying to make this U.S. National team that plays in China. He had a lot of good things about the overall experience, and I know we touched on this last year when he was working out, trying to get stronger and change his body, and it feels as if this offseason has been about trying to make more of a transition type of game to where he's not so much floating around on the outside shooting threes, which now seems to be more of his forte, but maybe getting some footwork and trying to get that from a Hall of Famer who might have been the best we've ever seen on the interior with his feet, and that's Kevin McHale.
Yeah, it was good to see Miles working with Kevin McHale down in Dallas. And I think this offseason is a good one for Miles from the standpoint that playing internationally, playing for Team USA, hopefully he makes the team that goes for the FIBA Cup. But just the fact that he gets these extra reps against NBA-level players and international players, I think is huge for Miles going into year 5, the first year of his big contract. The first year where paired with Domantas Sabonis in the starting lineup, it's a real chance for Miles to shine and show what he can do. I mean, I think you and I, we've both been right there with him. I've said that the expectations from a rebounding standpoint don't often fit Miles because of his ability to protect the rim and block shots. The challenge is his teammates have to help him out and get those rebounds. But very, very really anxious to watch him play in this international setting because I think this will really help him going forward for this year.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He talked about just how you're giving a role, and everybody, especially with this particular makeup of the team that's expected here, you're given a role, and you play that role. And he talked about his was going to be defense, and talked about the international rules and how that's going to benefit, or how that might be a hell of a lot different than the way that he plays in the NBA. But it should be fun. Honestly, I think it's going to be more entertaining because it's not the usual suspects in this.
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, you've got some really talented players, though, Kemba Walker and Tatum and Miles. And I'm anxious to see how Miles adapts to that international rule where you can just take the ball right off the rim.
Yeah.
I've always felt that that's something that the NBA should bring in. And that's the ability to wipe the ball away from the rim. And maybe that'll happen one day. But I think Miles will have a lot of fun with that. He's such a good shot blocker. This is right in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, I agree. That's Chris Tederi, Fox Sports Indiana, voice of the Pacers. And before you know it, it'll be time to get it going. Now, are you going to India?
It looks like I guess I could come, like Oz, let the curtain open. But it looks like Quinn and I will not be in India, but we will do the games. So, I mean, that's a little bit behind the curtain stuff. But
can I tell you that though? I know you want to go because that's what you want to do. But I'd be glad because I don't. That's too damn long of a trip to make.
Well, I was there, if you remember, 2 years ago. I went and met with all of the Indian media who were broadcasting NBA games. And so I met with them for about 5 or 6 days. And I traveled to India. It was about 14 or 15 hours. And then I came back. So I've been to Mumbai. So I'd love to be there because I love to be a part of the group and the travel party. But it's not like I won't miss anything because I've seen the sights of Mumbai and India before. So, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
How long of a flight is that?
I flew, I think, from Atlanta to Mumbai. It's almost like when I went to Johannesburg in South Africa. You wouldn't like it, John, because I think it's anywhere from 13 to 15 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there'd have to be a number 2 done in the plane. That's just all against my religion.
I think you'd probably feel better about going to Michigan before you hop on a flight and fly to Mumbai or Johannesburg.
Seriously, I think I would rather vacation at Lake Detroit than I would go there. There'd be a lot of breaking the rules for me on a flight that long, Chris.
I think what needs to happen, I really think for next year that IndyCar needs to bring you up to Michigan the week after the 500 and just show you everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Or you're going to have to accompany
That's on the
me
wrong
up.
side, though. You guys all say how great the Lake Michigan side. I mean, hell, nobody vacations on the Erie side. Isn't that like toilet water over there, isn't it?
I think to you, Michigan is like as far away as Johannesburg and Mumbai is, right?
I'm not going. I'm not going, man. I'm not going. I can barely travel through the region. I sure as hell don't. I got to get gas. I got to get gas and make sure I can kind of push it on through. You know what I mean? So
hey, let's talk Reds just for a second.
Sure.
I mean, if they win yesterday, how good do you feel?
Yeah, well, I said this at the outset. I thought they had to get at least 3 or 4, if not really hope for a sweep. And yeah, yesterday was just kind of a microcosm of the season. I mean, it was there, and the bullpen kind of gagged it up a little bit, and they had great. You felt good about the offense, Chris. You get 3 runs, and then you just stop. You stop hitting. Stop producing, and they're a year away, but I think they've teased us enough at times to make us believers. And
I agree.
Yeah, a split just wasn't going to get it done.
What I like is, John, and I know this isn't saying a lot, but they are relevant in mid-August.
They are.
And they have not been relevant in mid-August in a number of years. So I like what I see with Senzel. I like this pitching staff. Yeah, Lorenzen was so good Monday and Tuesday when he struck out Mike Trout twice, but then couldn't get an out in the last 2 days.
Oh, and I mean, you get out to that 3-run lead, and you can't. I mean, really, it started with Castillo too, because he kind of ran out of gas. But you gotta be able to close that deal at home like that. And they weren't able to do so. But I like the future, the way that it looks. I mean, I like next year when you look at Castillo and Bauer and Gray. Alex Wood let him down on Thursday. I thought a lot equally as what Cole Hamels did for the Cubs. But I thought Tyler Chatwood on Thursday was the difference in the game. Yeah. I mean, he stabilized the Cubs, whereas the Reds had no chance after that to get stabilization. So that was it.
And hey, we've had a great chance to watch Aquino, and that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has. Do you remember when has there been a guy? Everybody's default's always to Tuffy Rhodes for an opening game back in the '80s or whatever for the Cubs. But who is comparable coming up and making this huge a splash? And I hate to say it, but who's gone away after that? Those that have sustained after making a splash, and those that have gone away. Anybody come to mind?
Yeah. No. I mean, I'd have to go back to my bubblegum cards from years ago to figure that out. But no, it's been fun to watch him, and it's I've watched more Reds this year, I think, on a nightly basis, and it's made me hungry to broadcast again and getting ready for the season. And I know with this schedule coming out for the Pacers, there are some great dates, some great ticket opportunities for fans. So I can't wait. And we've got another month before training camp starts, but it'll be here, as you said, before we know it.
Gotcha. My friend, it's a pleasure. Good to have you back on. Congratulations on the new home, too.
Hey, thank you very much. Really looking forward to it, and it'll all be settled before the season starts.
Gotcha. Chris, thank you.
All right. Thanks, John.
It is Chris Denari, Fox Sports Indiana, voice of the Pacers. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I see you working. We'll get your calls on the other side of 239-1070. Holders in the 5. We'll revisit some luck stuff, and I'll tell you what we're giving away today and this week as well. Back with you next.
At Diamonds Direct, we specialize in taking all the stress out of buying a diamond.
It was easygoing. It didn't feel like they were trying to sell me or anything. They just wanted me to get the right diamond.
That's Tim Siebold, who actually enjoyed the process, even though he knew little about diamonds when he came in.
The selection is enormous, and it's so nice, and the service and the help and the knowledge of the staff to help you make that right decision.
Tim learned the inside secrets of the diamond business at Diamonds Direct, and he got to see as many diamonds in his price range as he wanted.
It didn't feel like they had to try and sell me. They knew I would come back as long as they just showed me what they had to offer.
Tim did shop other stores just to be sure.
I was wanting that quality without just paying a crazy price.
And in the end, that's what he got. A beautiful oval diamond GIA certified at a price nobody else could touch.
I actually got more than what I expected.
Let the experts at Diamonds Direct guide you to the right decision with no pressure, no stress, and the guaranteed best value. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get store hours and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
You know the name Abra Auto Body Repair of America. You've trusted us for expert collision repair for over 30 years. We're starting a new chapter as Caliber Collision. Now you can get world-class collision repair backed by a national lifetime warranty at over 1,000 locations. Abra was known for getting you back on the road quickly and safely. And now, as Caliber, we'll continue restoring the rhythm of your life. A new name, great people, and the same high standards in customer service. Abra is now Caliber Collision.
It takes courage to talk with that someone special when there are problems in the bedroom. Erectile dysfunction, or PE, can shatter your confidence and make your relationship challenging. You can put an end to these issues. Have the courage to make just one confidential visit to the Indianapolis Men's Clinic and get that spark back in your relationship. The doctors at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic offer the latest solutions for all ED and PE issues, and you'll see results in your first visit, or there's no charge. Call 999-9000 to meet with their licensed providers, no matter your age or your conditions. Diabetes, high blood pressure, prostate cancer, low testosterone causing your issue. It doesn't matter. They can help. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. That's 999-9000 or online at indymensclinic.com. Have the courage to take that first step. Indianapolis Men's Clinic, your key to a better life.
Hey, John here for PAI, WeGrowHairIndy.com. I got to go up there tomorrow. They're going to do a little look at my dome and see how it's going. But, hey, let's face it. Every time you're up on the north side and you're stuck in traffic for like an hour and a half and you got us locked in here to hear the latest, you're looking up at that billboard and you're seeing this face, these chiseled features and that great hair, and you're thinking, yeah, you know what? It is working. Nothing fake about it. That's the real deal. I'm not gluing anything on or taping anything on or stapling. Nah, seriously. They just resodded the playing field for me, and they can do that for you, too, with multi-unit hair grafting at PAI, 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com. Let Darren Andrews tell you all about it, and then they treat you great. They really do. If you want your real growing hair again, there's a way with PAI, 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Marshall Mechanical. Owner Eric Marshall says working hands-on in the field and with the customers before he owned the company still drives him today.
I'm a technician by trade before I was a business owner, so the opportunity to be able to do a load, a design, and an application for everybody's house that is unique, that's a big passion.
Call Marshall Mechanical at 317-738-5940 or go to callthemarshallnow.com. In Johnson and surrounding counties, Marshall Mechanical is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Calling all Bobs. IndianaUnclaimed.gov and the Office of the Indiana Attorney General may have money for you. In fact, we owe people named Bob more than $3.4 million. In all, we have nearly $500 million ready to return to deserving Hoosiers like Bob. And you, do we have money for you or the Bob in your life? Find out at IndianaUnclaimed.gov. It's worth a look. See and search for yourself. IndianaUnclaimed.gov.
The Colts host the Cleveland Browns in preseason action. Coverage Saturday at 1 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Bullish Brent's hanging and banging with you until the 8 o'clock hour. Coming up, we have artists such as Living Color and the Fine Young Cannibals right now. Here's Roxette, The Look, 89.9 WROL.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Unbelievable.
We're going to use Tom as the dream moment. It's not my dream moment, but it might be Cubs fans' dream moment of the day. Brought to you by Farm Credit Union. Farm Credit Union, per usual, always finding new and ingenious ways to help you save, whether the Common Sense account or the Sprout account, right down to the Forum MasterCard. New ingenious ways to save every single day. Check with Kevin at a branch location or online at forumcu.com. The Forum Credit Union dream moment, by the way. That's Tom Brenneman via Fox Sports Ohio and the Reds television network with the call right there. Welcome back. Chris Denari a little bit earlier. The pod's going to be up there, 1075thefan.com. We'll get to your calls regarding Luck being down for at least another week, at least not participating. What you think? Anybody panicking or what? See, this is a good question right here Bill has. Can you ask Chris Denari if Connecticut will install a whole home system in his new house? Well, I already know the answer to that because Joe, John, and Dennis and I went to lunch last week, so that's an absolute yes. And quick shout to my man Austin from Connecticut, who is dropping off some salt and filters right now. Salt and filters. I just don't know how to change the filter. I do know how to put in the salt. I cut the bag, and then I dump it into that big thing. Cut the bag and dump it into that big thing. But thank you, Austin and Connecticut, for that, too. Mark writes this, hey, JMV, Brown's helmet gripe seems like a smokescreen covering frostbite being worse than reported. Oh, yeah, I think that's legit. I think he's just kind of being a legit horse's ass, to be honest, and that's just kind of him. But I said this, I maintain that you need diva wide receivers. I think we all need it. I mean, what would the NFL be without it? Seriously, what would it be without it? I mean, if you didn't have a diva wide receiver to talk about, what would it be? Everybody out there embraces it. I mean, listen, First Take guys this morning probably were self-pleasured by the fact that this thing is breaking all over the place. You imagine? I mean, you could do 35 minutes in your sleep over this stuff. And the best part about it is it's original. I mean, there's nothing rehashed over wet socks, cryotherapy in France, and my helmet doesn't fit. I'm going to paint over the old one, and now I'm just going to be petulant, and I'm going to quit the game if I don't get my way. That's really the only aspect of the story that we've been down that path before with these guys. It is never ending, and I believe that we need it. Now, you need it as long as it's not a part of your team. You need it. Hey, Jeremy, I'm glad you're back. Where the hell have you been, dude? Come on, man. Come on. Thrasher writes this, Antonio Brown repainting his old helmet is like one of us changing our F to a B on the handwritten report cards. Holy hell. We all knew how to do that, didn't we? Remember they used to send the report cards home with us? And, I mean, it was just handwritten. It was then like an envelope of sorts, and then it was just like your grades were handwritten. You could just change those son of a guns up. Oh, well, you know, my teacher changed it. J. Cole writes this, hey, by the way, JMV, your take wasn't bad. I think if Brown were to come to Indy, he would have been fine. Now, here's where my take is solid. They need somebody. They did not get off the line of scrimmage. They did not get away from press coverage against Kansas City. That's the next step. They were owned by a defense that bared all the negativity of a season in which Kansas City didn't go to a Super Bowl. They got complete and utter blame. The Colts were owned by that defense. All the blame went on the Chiefs' defense. A defense that handled completely the Colts. So, yes, a type of player like that, yes. That player, probably not. Thank you, though, J. Cole. Quick one, we'll come back. Stephen Holder, less than an hour away. I got stuff to give away. We'll revisit that. And your phones, I see you ringing. We're going to put you up, talk to you. Other side next.
Are kids better off in an intact family? You bet they are. This is Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Kids living in a household with married parents do better in school, they're emotionally healthier, and they're more likely to stay out of trouble with the law. If you're in a troubled marriage, of course you should do everything you can to save your marriage, if only for your kids' sake. This includes considering alternatives to divorce. Of course, in some circumstances, divorce is unavoidable. In either case, if you're a man facing a crisis in your marriage, let us help you at Cordell & Cordell. Remember, we're the partner men can count on.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 317-322-0122 or visit online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Indianapolis. Cordell & Cordell, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
Warning. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Your world moves fast. Welcome to Velo, the nicotine product that was made to keep up. Velo is the modern take on nicotine. They're pouches that are made for you, made for right now. Because with no spit, no smoke, and no hassles, there are no limits to where you can go. So whatever your destination is, Velo's ready. Velo, no limits. Visit Velo.com. Website restricted to age 21 plus tobacco consumers. Underage sale prohibited.
Hey, we got one more coming up. One more visit to somebody's backyard. Heaven Hill, the distillery. And, of course, they produce the greatness that is Evan Williams and Larceny and others All a part of the Backyard Bourbon broadcast. And again, we can be in your backyard, but you got to sign up. Sign up so we can check it out and pick somebody coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Online, 1075thefan.com today. Sign up because I want to come and have a party in your backyard. We bring all that there is to drink, the hydration, the official hydration courtesy of Connecticut. My man Mark and Wings, etc. Food, all you can eat. And we're going to be in somebody's backyard. And last time I brought DJ Skids, we may do that again coming up here in August in your backyard, the Backyard Bourbon broadcast. And thanks so much to Brent and Randy and Heaven Hill for doing what they do. The Backyard Bourbon broadcast, we could be broadcasting live and having a party in your backyard. Sign up right now online, 1075thefan.com.
Tuesdays are the worst. They're all that stands between you and the downhill part of the week. But now they're a lot less worse, because Wing Tuesdays at B-Dubs are buy one, get one free traditional wings. So Monday, you may kick off the week. Wednesday, you may have a cool nickname. Thursday, you might be the almost weekend. But watch your back, because Tuesdays just officially became Wing Tuesdays. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Buy one traditional wings order and get one of equal value free. Participation and promotional details vary by location. Check in with your favorite Buffalo Wild Wings to learn more about this offer.
Luke Bryan.
Sunrise, sunburn, sunset.
The Sunset Repeat Tour. This Sunday night, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center.
Proud of what makes you country.
Luke Bryan, live, with special guest Cole Swindell, John Langston, and DJ Rock. Get access to preferred seating with your City card. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Farm Credit Union, always trying to find ways for you to save. Oh, the Forum MasterCard is genius. You know, you don't have to check in and sign up for this and make sure you got to write this and write that to save. Now you sign up, you get it, and you save automatically. That's what's genius about Forum Credit Union. They devise ways for us to save when we don't know we're actually saving. And in fact, those are the best ways to save. Thank you, Kevin and Forum Credit Union today. Stop by a branch location, find out what's new, these new ingenious ways that Forum Credit Union helps you save money. Also, instantaneously find out that information online. forumcu.com today.
Discount travel sites say they have the best prices, but Hilton.com has the price match guarantee. Look me in the eye. If you find a better rate, they match it and take 25% off. Yeah, well, this is radio, so just stare at the radio. Hilton.com has the best prices. Pinky swear. Or, radio swear. Plus, you can choose your exact room and get free Wi-Fi. Cross my heart, stick a needle in my radio. Expect better. Expect Hilton.
Must be a Hilton Honors member. Applicable terms and conditions at Hilton.com. Pinky swear.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BV, W228CX, Indianapolis. Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
You know what? Rounders is now in the category where I watch it when it's on, especially at the end. Anybody else with me on that? I watch it at the end when it's on. Rounders. I think we all have films similar to that. What film do you watch when it's on? You watch it no matter what. But you may want to pick and choose, maybe cherry pick, if you will, certain scenes. Rounders is that. And right. I mean, Fast Times at Ridgemont, there's no way. I mean, if there is Phoebe Cates taking off a top, I'm there, brother. Can't help it. I know. Well, you're near 50. You're too old. Nah, yeah. Try telling me that, all right? Explain that to me, please. Well, you're near 50. You need to grow out of that. Yeah. I never say the word ain't, but I'll use it for effect here. It ain't happening. Big Braille just said this. So you said Antonio Brown was being a horse's ass. Was that a subliminal message that horse's ass will be a part of the horseshoe? Nice. It is not. It is not. I just thought that they needed somebody. They needed somebody big in a moment in which nobody came up big last January at Arrowhead. Then it's 0 against T.Y. I mean, T.Y. was out there playing hurt. All respect to T.Y. Hilton. There was 0 against him, but I just felt that was what they needed, and this guy was floating around, and I thought, whatever. And, it'd go down in history as one of my bad takes, but I'm the only one around that's going to own him. I told you about him last week. There are many. Elton John's show. I've never seen Elton John in concert, by the way. See, I would think the Elton John show I would be good with until as long as he didn't do hits past 1983. If he did anything else, I don't want to hear The Lion King and Can You Feel the Love Tonight and all that stuff. But if you did something if you did mostly 70s, I'm down. If you just got a little bit into the 80s, if you played, I guess, why they call it the blues, I would probably have to puke. Hopefully he doesn't play that. Elton John's show rescheduled from Friday the 25th to Saturday the 26th of October at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. There you go. Thank you, Wes, for that. I just now released. Can you feel the love tonight? No. I guess why they call it the blues is just terrible. I mean, really, he's very similar to Billy Joel in the 80s. Tell me one person out there that says, oh, yeah, Billy Joel, Modern Woman. JMV, thank you. On 13-hour trip, man, your knees would be so stiff you'd have to be wheeled off the plane. There's 13 hours. There's no way. Plus, I have a rule where I don't grow a tail on the plane, and I don't think I can. I think that'd be tough. Because who knows what you're going to end up eating. You eat a couple of meals, so something's going to have to give. So I'd either have to break the rule or be incredibly uncomfortable for about 6 hours until I got there. It was challenged. Once upon a time, it was challenged. Houston to Anchorage, Alaska. It was challenged then. I was middle seat between two drunk college dudes spilling their cranberry and vodka on my knee. And I'd had, what's that Cajun place down there? It's not Basbo's or Bros or something. So I had a little Cajun before the flight, which was just an absolute error in judgment beyond belief. I almost just asked for a parachute. Said, you guys got a parachute on this plane? I'm going to DB Sweeney right out the front door here. Please? So, yeah, that's not working. Greg's at 239-1070. Hello, Greg. How are you?
Hey, JMV. How you doing, buddy?
Greg, I recognize your voice, and I am going to give you full and complete credit on your call for the Mets a couple of weeks ago. I shot it down. I was wrong. You were right. Well done.
Well, it's not over yet, and the only reason I did it is because I watched baseball from day one till day 162. And they were abysmal. They were the worst team in baseball, and somehow they just kept. And I'm not a Mets fan.
Well, you're stirring the echoes like your damn Davy Johnson right there, brother. So well done.
I mean, I'm not a Mets fan, but I just kept watching them, and I only pay attention to the standings about 3 times a week, and that's when they come off their 3-4 game stretch or whoever they're playing or whatever they're doing, and all of a sudden they just, and it was before the trade deadline, and all of a sudden they were playing good baseball. Everybody started playing good. And then when everybody thought that they were going to sell the whole thing out,
you got it.
They did.
You called it. Hey, what did you want to say about the Reds here?
I'm glad they kept Suarez. They could have easily shipped him off too, but they didn't.
Yeah, they got a nice core moving into the future. Hey, I got to run here, Greg. You call any time, but thank you very much. Bob's going to join us in a second. But yeah, they have a nice core. but their core's not ready for prime time right now. They'll give you moments, and I'm assuming next year is going to be that moment. But they do have a nice core. I had to give props to Greg on that, too. I mean, that's big. Hey, JMV, I just want the truth about his injury instead of facts. The truth about the injury? Yeah, I'll get back to what I said about Andrew Luck at the beginning of the show. I know. They're probably mad at me downstairs because I made light of that little headline at 1075thefan.com. That's pretty good, though. You got to admit, that's pretty good. Get back to you in a second. From The Athletic on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, Bob Kravitz joins us. All right, where are you right now with Andrew Luck?
Where am I right now with Andrew Luck? I tend not to believe things when I hear them. Maybe that's my own personal problem. Maybe that's born of a history of being told something that's not true. That said, it's just hard to believe that a freaking calf muscle is going to keep him out even, once we get started with the season. I realize it's been 3 freaking months, but, man, it's a calf. I just think they're being unbelievably careful. They saw what happened to Kevin Durant. They're scared silly. And I do think a lot of this is being not run by Luck, but I think a lot of it is being orchestrated by him to a certain degree, that he just doesn't feel comfortable getting back out on the field when he's feeling pain as he did previously with his shoulder.
Yeah, and this is him. There's no question about that. It is. It's funny about it too. I was told, Bob, that this is an injury that clearly popped back up more severely during training in the spring, but kind of some discomfort that he dealt with at the end of the season, which made sense to me, even though nobody ever said anything about it. But it made sense to me because they still tell us that, this is a situation where if he played on Sunday, he could play, and they're so seemingly optimistic that everything is just all of a sudden going to be okay to start the season. So that part kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah, but, all of that said, look, if I was a betting man, I'd bet that he plays in the opener at L.A. But, I understand where they're coming from, and quite frankly, I understand where Andrew's coming from, that he doesn't want to play with any limitations. He's done that enough in a very young career. And so I think they're just, the only thing that drives me crazy is I keep hearing how important reps are and how important practice is, and yada, yada, yada. Well, and then they talk about Andrew Luck like, he's not going to miss anything. Listen, you and I both remember that year that Peyton Manning had that Bursa sack.
Oh, yeah.
And he missed all of, if not most, all of training camp. And he was terrible for the first couple of games. Now, eventually they went on to win, I think, 9 in a row, and he won MVP. Peyton being Peyton, but you can't tell me that it's not going to have an impact if he doesn't get his butt out there and compete in training camp to a certain degree.
I do buy that. I do, especially the way this schedule starts, as you mentioned, in Southern California, then on the road in Nashville, and really, in the first 5 weeks, Bob, they're playing against the Chiefs, I think, in week 5, and you start out against the Chargers. And I believe that to really maintain an opportunity to host a divisional round playoff game, I think you've got to win one of those games. And it just, you're right. I mean, you saw him last year, how long after a year off, different injury, but how long it took him to get into gear. I just don't think this is something where you're going to jump right back out there and be the guy that we saw playing at his highest level a year ago. I think that's really tough to grasp.
Right, and so much of his new throwing motion that he's kind of worked on with Tom House has been described to me as being more lower body centric, that he very much uses his legs when he throws. It's not just about, our favorite term, arm talent, although he does have, a hell of an arm. Yeah, it's kind of a mess, and you wonder about these new receivers. You wonder about Funchess. These guys did not have a chance to work with Andrew, outside of the facility this summer. Now they're missing all this time in training camp. Obviously, Paris Campbell has been hurt, so that he wouldn't have been able to play either way. So I wonder if this is not going to get them off to another shaky start. Which I agree. Jim Irsay was talking about that first game in L.A., and he said that's worth a win and a half if you can get that.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy, but I kind of believe him, because if you can beat a playoff contender on the road in your opener, you're sitting pretty, and you got yourself a chance to have a nice season and get home field advantage, at least through part of the playoffs.
Completely agree. Bob Kravitz joins us from The Athletic. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You brought up Jim, and this is kind of interesting. You go back 2 years, and again, this is completely different set of injury circumstances here. But when Jim said, and remember the press box during the television interview, that a lot of this is between the ears of Andrew Luck, he was right about that, because it still is. I mean, clearly this stuff weighs on him incredibly since that point on to where we are right now, even if we're talking about drastically different injuries.
Well, I honestly, when he talked about the 4 inches between his ears, I found that very distasteful. Honestly, that suggests to me that he can play, but he just doesn't want to deal with the pain, and I think that paints Andrew in a negative light that's probably not deserved. I think he learned a lot from what happened the last time. I asked Frank Reich the other day, has he been cleared to practice? And he said no. But he also said the ball is in Andrew's court. So where's the ball? Where's the court?
Because he's been cleared, right? I mean, that's the only way to look at it.
He said he has not been cleared.
By Andrew?
No, he said he has not been cleared by the training staff. So I find this all very, very curious, and I hate to be this way, but look, I don't.
There's no way they're going to clear him before he clears himself, though, because nobody's going to go through what Golden State went through for 2 months before Kevin Durant cleared the air last week.
Right. No, I agree with you. I mean, look, the training staff does have to sign off, but you're right.
Yeah.
It's all about Andrew.
Yeah.
But when you start suggesting it's between his ears, I have a real problem with that.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, and as it turned out, that year, Andrew was right. I mean, Andrew was right about himself. You know what I mean? Because we never saw him again, and he never played, and he went to Europe, and all that history now. So he was right. He was right.
If we find out that he's in Amsterdam next week, all bets are off.
I said this, man. If he continues not to practice, and you don't see him, if he becomes a ghost like he did 2 years ago, that's when everybody starts to worry. Right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we've asked him repeatedly, how he heard it, and he says training. Well, to be more specific, no, training. I guess we have to hold him down and beat it out of him. I don't know how this, I don't know exactly how it happened, but, clearly he's not right. And, could he play hurt? Sure. But at this point, does it make sense? Probably not. And, I'm willing to give Andrew the benefit of the doubt. I think he's a tough-nosed guy, hard-nosed guy, who's going to play when he feels ready to play.
Yeah, it was funny. I was told that it happened toward the end of the season. It was a situation he played with and then incredibly aggravated it during how you mentioned it and how they've described it and answered the question during training. And until that point, he's not moving forward with it as of right now. But, I mean,
At least he didn't hurt it snowboarding, so that's good.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. Yes, that's a really good thing. Bob Kravitz joins us. All right, rest of the team-wise, any takeaways from what you've seen up at Westfield, just without the Luck saga going on?
Well, otherwise, they look like a really good, young, deep team, which is what we suspected all along. Now, when I go to practice, I spend most of my time socializing, and when the crowd goes, whoa, I look up to see who made a big play. So I'm not sitting there charting stuff. But I will say the guys who've really impressed me have been Rock Ya-Sin, who looks – remember how Antoine Bethea just looked like a pro the day he got here?
Sure.
That's what this guy looks like. I'll tell you who has been blowing up, and it's surprising just because he's a veteran and he has nothing to prove, is T.Y. Hilton.
Yep.
He is having an amazing camp, and you know, even he would acknowledge that he's having his best camp so far. He said that today. So, who else? Danico Autry has been beating people up, including Quentin Nelson, who doesn't get, beat very often. So you see a lot of good young talent here. I mean, what Chris Ballard has done has been remarkable. But you're right. It ultimately all comes down to one Mr. Luck.
Yeah, so Bob Kravitz, he's writing for The Athletic. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. What's your expectation for these two practices with Cleveland? Because I saw where T.Y. Hilton mentioned that he doesn't like it because there are too many fights. Give me the pros and the cons that go on in these get-togethers.
Well, the pro is that you see how you stack up. It's a great barometer. I remember a couple of years ago, it was a Baltimore came in here, I think it was, and kicked the living crap out of the Colts every day. And they had a pretty good idea at that point that it was going to be a problem season. It's a barometer. I think it lets players, see how they stack up. I think it allows coaches to do a little more coaching. I don't see a downside to it. And who's T.Y. kidding? If there's a fight, he's running to the next field.
Yeah, it's funny. Some guys, like I watched him at the Paris Reggie Wayne basketball thing right before the start of training camp, and he just it's against a bunch of boobs. There's no doubt about it, but he's so it's effortless what he does. It's just incredible to see a guy that has that much athleticism right there. It is incredible.
Yeah, I really think he's going to have a dynamite season if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
If they can establish a number two, whether that's Funchess or Deion Kane, who I wrote about the other day, or even Paris Campbell if he ever gets healthy, I think that'll make a huge difference because for the longest time now, T.Y. has been a solo act, and everybody's been able to move their coverage over to his side and take him away to some degree.
So Bob Kravitz with us. Before I let you go, I do want to revisit one more thing, and I'm going to get your take on it. We didn't really discuss it, but if let's just say something happens to where Luck isn't ready, this is something that this organization. I mean, they had a tough time coming back from that 2 years ago. I mean, this is a longer term problem. I mean, that's the other thing. Organizationally, you got to believe in what he's telling you and absolutely everything that he's going to be ready, because if he's not, and you're saying that, good luck with ever having the court of public opinion on your side again.
Oh, my God. They cannot afford to be wrong. Now, they have been far more positive about his return this time around. The last time with the shoulder, I thought Chris Ballard handled it about as well as it could possibly be handled. It was Jim Irsay who really spoke out of school and said he'll be ready early, he'll be ready this game, he'll be ready that game. And then obviously he was never ready. If he does not come back, they have got a serious PR problem that they're going to have to address in some form or fashion.
It's Bob Kravitz of The Athletic. You mentioned a little bit earlier, Deion Kane is what you most recently had to offer?
Yes, Deion Kane, who came up very tough circumstances, was homeless during most of his senior year of high school, lived in his car, 2008 Ford Fusion, lived with him and his mom, or lived with his mom in his car for several months. And so I wrote about that, and that came out pretty good, doing something on IU football and whether the 128-year slump will ever be broken. Do you know that IU is the losingest program in college football history?
Do what now?
IU has the the most losses of any FBS team in history.
That's too bad. That's not good.
No, that's not good.
Did you bring up that question for Tom?
No. I noticed that. I knew they were bad. Just we know they're bad. They've always been bad. For as long as we've been alive.
You're just what? Yeah. Hey, listen. You just brought that nugget up because you did some damn research on it, man. You want everybody to know it.
Research. Yeah, there must have been a tournament at my golf course. I must have had time to do research. So, but I'll tell you what,
everybody has their moment. Everybody has had their moment in the Big Ten, with the exception of Rutgers. I mean, Rutgers, I guess, had a moment when they were not a member of the Big Ten, but everybody's had their moment. Yes.
Yeah, even Minnesota. Northwestern was god-awful. We talked to Rick Venturi. I think he was, 1-30 when he was there. But, Northwestern, once Gary Barnett came in and then Fitzgerald, they've been really, really good. Every team in the Big Ten except for, the newbies has had a run in the Big Ten, except for Indiana. But having said that, they've had two of their best recruiting classes ever, according to the 24/7 types and the Rivals types. So maybe there's hope. Maybe there's a reason to believe. But I look at Peyton Ramsey and I see a quarterback who's never going to throw 3 touchdown passes in a game, and he's never going to throw 3 picks. He's just okay.
Yeah.
And whether the rest of the team can be good enough to overcome an average quarterback, I don't know. But he's going to have a big decision to make with Ramsey, Penix, and Tuttle.
It's funny, when I talked to Tom, and the first thing he said, I said, give me, 3 positive attributes that are different. And the first thing he came up with Peyton was grittiness and guttiness. And I thought, that's not good.
Oh,
I mean, it's good, but it's not good. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't want quarterbacks who are gutty. I want quarterbacks who kick ass and take names.
It seems like if you put attributes in all 3 of those guys, you'd have something right there. But it's just, it's going to be interesting to see who they pick. I think as of right now, it's Ramsey, but I don't know if that is, in Tom's mind, solidly in place before the 31st of this month. So.
Well, they got 3 guys, which means they have none. But as you know, John, iron sharpens iron.
Oh, you're just a ray of sunshine all the time. I appreciate it.
I would fix this. All right.
Hey, you're cutting out there, my friend. It's always good to have you, Bob. Thank you. So Bob Kravitz,
buddy, take care.
Yeah, Bob Kravitz of The Athletic on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Actually, we're going to have Tom on tomorrow. But I was talking to Tom, and the quarterback situation obviously came into play here, and he had some interesting answers. He did. 31st, Ball State and IU, Lucas Oil Stadium. That's the opener. And our friends at Bullseye, I think, are having a party down there too. All good. Hey, speaking of Bullseye, I'll give you some Bullseye news coming up in a bit for you that like to party. And golf outing news coming up on the other side. Sit tight.
I'm Drew. I think freedom and financial stability go hand in hand.
At KeyBank, we believe it's never too early to start thinking about making financial progress.
As a college student, I run into a lot of expenses, so having a bank that helps me to manage my personal finances helps a lot.
KeyBank's digital tools help you make, then manage your budget, so you always know where you stand.
Budgeting your money isn't always the easiest thing, but by using the KeyBank mobile app and seeing where your money's being spent on a regular basis, it allows you to establish the amount of money that you can put towards different things. And that's more money that you can spend on things that you care about. To have freedom to spend your money the way you want to, the only way you can do that is by being financially stable.
Get $300 when you open a qualifying checking account and set up direct deposit. Offer details at key.com/get300 or your local branch. Must be enrolled in online banking to use the mobile app. Message and data rates from your wireless provider may apply. KeyBank is member FDIC.
Hey, quick shout. My man Austin of Connecticut, thank you very much. I've got the photograph I got it. I've got bags of salt and filters. Thank you, Connecticut. I've got the best water. You can have the best water, too, with Connecticut because Joe, John, and Dennis give you the opportunity right now to save big and get a triple play. Are you ready? Premier Series water softener, in-home drinking water station, and the leak detection system, which is state-of-the-art. All together, and you'll get $1,500 off right now with Connecticut. That's $1,500 off right now with Connecticut, the official hydration of the JMV Backyard Bourbon broadcast, and yes, the title sponsor of Drop Off Line Sports. I love my Connecticut, and you will too. That's where you're going to get the best water. So stop by a branch location for you. How about the northeast side, right up there in Castleton, south side, US 31 and Southport Road, both Central Indiana Connecticut locations are easily found. All the information you need online, ConnecticutIndy.com today.
You know where Colts players, staff, and fans shop for diamonds? It's Diamonds Direct, Keystone at the Crossing. In fact, Diamonds Direct is the official jeweler of the Colts with one of the largest selections of GIA-certified diamonds in America. All at direct importer, no middleman pricing. Plus, at Diamonds Direct, you won't have to make or settle for a boring knockoff cookie-cutter ring. You'll find literally thousands of distinctive and stylish rings from top designers like Tacori, Verragio, Simon G, Henry Dawsey, and dozens more. These are the rings on every woman's wish list. And don't forget, at Diamonds Direct, you get a free lifetime warranty with any purchase. That's free cleaning, free sizing, free maintenance for as long as you own it, with no strings attached. All this plus an extraordinary diamond upgrade policy that gives you back 110% of your original purchase price when you upgrade to a larger diamond. Colts fans, if you're popping the question, there's just one place to go. It's where Indy gets engaged. Diamonds Direct, the official jeweler of the Indianapolis Colts. Keystone at the Crossing.
Luke Bryan.
Sunrise, sunburn, sunset.
The Sunset Repeat Tour. This Sunday night, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center.
Proud of what makes you country.
Luke Bryan, live with special guest Cole Swindell, John Langston, and DJ Rock. Get access to preferred seating with your City Card. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Hey, Johnny here for PAI, WeGrowHairIndy.com. I got to run up there tomorrow, and they're going to look at my scalp. They're going to look at my dome, and they're going to go, wow, look at this. That's what multi-unit hair grafting did. Real growing hair is back. They resuscitated my lettuce. Thank you very much, PAI, for doing just that. Multi-unit hair grafting, artist robotic FUE, laser hair therapy, all can be had, but you need a conversation with Darren Andrews about that very thing. If you want your real growing hair again, 888-724-5129. That's 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Chad and Tyler Peterman for Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Got a stopped-up drain? A Peterman certified technician will unclog it for just $83.
We'll get that drain moving again, and you don't pay until that drain is clear.
And if that same drain should clog again, no worries.
Because we back our work with a 1-year clog-free guarantee.
All for just $83.
That's right. Any drain, any clog, and all you pay is $83 when you call Peterman.
Peterman's the way to go.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's Big Joe. Right now, for every window you buy, you get the next one free, no limits, and 0% financing for 36 months. Call 317-659-8191 or go to universalwindowsdirect.com. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. You know, a lot of lenders claim to have an online loan application, but you come to find out it's the same old process. At thehomeloanexpert.com, with our new 5-minute loan application, you can sign, review, and upload all of your loan documentation right online. No rocket ships or any other gimmicks. Just a new mortgage experience like no one else can offer. Only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
The Ride with JMV.
Well, not really. I felt it on my leg. Come on, I don't want to see it.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Joshua Matthews, Bedford, Indiana native. Enjoying some Big Red while listening to the show. Oh, yeah. Sure to give you kidney stones in the future, Joshua. Nice show in Big Red. Hey, JMV, I wonder if that's why Chris Ballard was so adamant about not trading Jacoby Brissett. They knew Andrew was hurt. I don't think they ever really viewed it as anything that big, to be honest. I mean, I think they did want Brissett as a backup, but I mean, let's face it too. Well, without, he's not top 20, as Frank Reich talked about. Listen, I've not been in the locker room and I haven't played, whatever, but I mean, hell, you're not top 20. As we talked about last week, he might get a starting job, maybe in Washington, maybe with the Dolphins, maybe, but. It's not one of these things where you swoop in and, hey, everything's going to be okay till your guy gets back. If your guy is not there, then you're screwed. Screwed, I tell you. Screwed. Hey, JMV, the IU football quarterback competition is not a three-man race. Tuttle is a distant third. Well, we'll talk to Tom Allen about that tomorrow, but he did mention as we speak right now, it was Peyton Ramsey, the guy, which would be unsurprising. With Michael Penix being in there too. I think Bob Kravitz dropped a Michael Penix on us too. I got a little worried about that. I thought I had to hit the dump button. Don't go Penix on me here. JMV. Antonio Brown repainting his old. Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, I hit that a little bit earlier. I thought that was pretty good, but it's the one I was going for. Imagine a camera crew in Antonio Brown 24/7. That's entertainment. JMV, Luck's got some mental hurdles to go with the lower extremity injury. Thing's pulling. Thing is pulling. And that's where it is. Talked about the Pacers schedule with Chris Denari a little bit earlier, too. 6 nationally televised games, of which begin in the month of February, so you can kind of do the math there. JMV, just don't think Brissett is all that good. He has been incredibly overhyped, which is, what coaches and organizational folks do. I mean, that's how it works. But he's been overhyped. But he is the guy as of right now. I'll be up there Wednesday and Thursday with the Browns in town for those joint practices. I'll be up there both days doing the show right there in the corner of the end zone. So come by and say hello. And I believe that Mayor Cook and some big office is going to be coming our way on Wednesday, which is good. Big office up in Westfield. A celebration of Westfield and me talking Colts football, which is great. Hey, this reminder, too, and this is why I love doing it, because you know how much I love our Central Indiana teachers, really all teachers, but certainly those that are within my speaking voice right now. I love you, and we want to give back, and we do via Teachers Treasures. Last year we dropped in 500 backpacks to every kid that was in Jeremiah Gray last year. So I love doing that. And this year we're going to try to raise more money through the JMV Sucks Golf Outing. Got to thank Ted Bishop. Ted Bishop stepping up big and offering up the Legends down in Franklin. And they tell me down the hall that we needed more space because we needed more golfers, and that's kind of where it is right now. So everybody's got to sign up for this, all right? I think we need 180 on board. I don't even know if I have 180 listeners, so come on. I put it to you, listeners of this show, inspire somebody that hates my guts. And inspire somebody that hates my guts to be a part of what is a great cause, because it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with our teachers and those that they teach. Way too often, and I mean by way too often, like every single moment, There is money that they have to pay by virtue of their room and for students that they give out of their own pocket. We try to help them out. That's what Teachers Treasures does. The JMV sucks, but his Larceny Bourbon golf outing doesn't, to benefit Teachers Treasures, is coming up on the 16th of September. Sign up, 1075thefan.com. I promise you a party. It's very, very Happy Gilmore-esque. There'll be music, there'll be fun, there'll be partying, and as the end result, we help out our teachers. And right now, you got an early bird discount. So what did they say, 180? Was that the number? Holy crap. Come on. There's no way. There's no way I have 180 listeners out there. Let's go. Even if you hate me. I got a great story. So yesterday I'm at the pool. I'm not gonna bring up names here, but some dude walks by and goes, "Hey, you know this person over there?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Yeah, well, he doesn't like you. He's saying all kinds of bad stuff about you." I'm just sitting here with my daughter and her friends swimming. All right, I'm not saying a word. I sit there with my earbuds in, listening to the Reds. Oh yeah, talking crap about you down there. I go, man, I'm just at a pool. And I'm sure it's probably something I said. Part of it is, my wife tells me this all the time, you don't realize how really awful some of the things you say until you have to hear it again. Like the whole Deion Kane thing. Like, I didn't realize at the time when I mentioned, well, Deion Kane, everybody thinks Deion Kane's going to be this and going to be that, but how does anybody know? Guy's never played. And I don't think that sounded bad. And then when I heard it at Colts.com as they put it in to an episode of his story of rehab, I go, God, that guy sounds like a complete P right there. With a capital P and an R and ending with a K. That's exactly what that guy sounded like. She's right as usual. But all that aside, you guys got to be a part of this. Let's help out our teachers and have fun doing it too. I mean, listen, our teachers deserve it, and frankly, you deserve it. Like a lot of fun, little party, we drink and eat, and thanks to Ted Bishop. 1075thefan.com. And by the way, too, at the shop, Brian Kelly says the shop hasn't heard yet. Listen, just do it. All right, I just want you to do it. We got to have shirts. Because part of the fun of having a JMV Sucks golf outing is going to the Carmel Goodwill like 2 weeks later and seeing how many of those shirts are on the rack up there. What the hell are you guys doing giving away my JMV Sucks t-shirts? Wear it with pride. Seriously, though. 1075thefan.com. Get signed up today. If you don't have a foursome, we'll find people for you. I just want to have one hellaciously awesome day for our teachers, man, because they deserve it. Let's do it. Quick break, and we'll come back. You on the other side, Stephen Holder, top of the hour. Meek Mill and Future. Meek Mill and Future. All right, help me out here. All you youngsters out there, youngsters, God, I sound like an old fart saying that. Those are the younger generation. Help me out here, Kyle. Meek Mill and Future, going to see them would be akin to going to see who in the 1990s?
Ooh, sort of second tier guys. Second tier in the rap game, I'd say.
Second tier in the rap game.
Yeah, they're not quite the top tier. They're not your Kanye, Jay-Z.
I'd be going to see... Oh, man, see, Coolio was top tier in the 90s for a while. So I'd be going to see... Let's see here. Who?
Neither
in the 90s.
Of these guys were
I'd be going
top.
to see Ine Kamoze. Here comes the hot stepper. Is this akin to going to see Ine Kamoze in the 90s?
Sure. I'll take your word for
All
it.
right. So this would be like going to see Ine Kamoze and Father MC, for those of you of the older generation like me. Meek Mill and Future, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. 5 o'clock hour, we'll give you a shot at those. I'm back with you next.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
An effective defense often hinges on sophisticated strategies relating to income tax projections, business valuations, spousal support claims. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 317-322-0122 or visit online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Indianapolis. Cordell & Cordell, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
Summer's here, and there's no better time to hit the road. At AutoZone, we have the Duralast batteries you can rely on to drive with confidence. They're proven tough, even in the most extreme conditions. That's because they're designed to improve performance and provide your ride with a powerful startup. And they're available only at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Visit us at AutoZone.com to get everything you need and start the job fast. Based on data from the MPD Group Incorporated, Car Care Track 12 months ending December 2018.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
As a small business owner, when was the last time you considered switching internet providers?
I don't even remember. Running a business keeps me pretty busy.
Let's compare your current provider to Comcast Business. Are you getting fast, reliable internet?
Sometimes.
How about a full suite of innovative services like separate Wi-Fi networks, 4G wireless backup, and advanced voice solutions?
I highly doubt it.
Sounds like Comcast Business could give you more. Make the switch to the nation's largest gig speed network now and get an amazing deal. Right now, get fast 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month for 2 years when you add 2 voice mobility lines and sign up for paperless billing and autopay. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Monthly service charge increases by $10 without paperless billing and autopay. Offer ends 8/21/19. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment taxes and fees extra, subject to change. Backup limited to up to 8 hours.
Double D, did you know that college football in Indy kicks off August 31st?
I do, and some bragging rights are on the line over at Lucas Oil Stadium, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. It's Ball State versus Indiana in the Ruoff Kickoff Classic. My Cardinals versus your Hoosiers, Cardinal versus Crimson.
Can't wait. Get tickets now, 888-BSU-TICKET.
The Ruoff Kickoff Classic. Ball State takes on IU.
Call 888-BSU-TICKET, and we'll see you Saturday, August 31st.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Baptist Heating and Air. Take it away, girls.
Ding, 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 ding. Baptist, we won't send a dummy. Baptist, we will get you running. Baptist, for a little money. Baptist Heating and Air. Baptist Heating and Air. Helping people to be comfortable. Call 782-1900.
Baptist Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Hey, John here for Diamonds Direct. All right, 2019. Let's just say this. Your year of engagement. What do? You get dragged around everywhere or drag yourself around everywhere. Got to find the greatest. We got to go to all these different places. Come on now. That's not how it's supposed to work. Make it easy. Hit a home run and make it easy. Seriously. And do it at Diamonds Direct. Why? Because they have everything that you need, everything that others claim to have, but they don't, right in one place. Everything that you will love right there, too. I mean, the incredible originality that they have. The selection is incredible. It really is, too. You'll love it. The guarantees, the warranties, the price tag, all that in one place, so you don't have to go all over and hear about all these claims that others have. Go to the place that can give you everything that you need and make it hassle-free. It's Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct, Keystone at the Crossing, the official jeweler of the Colts.
No matter how it happened, Caliber Collision makes it like it never did. The nation's largest collision repair company, rated among the highest in customer satisfaction, restoring the rhythm of your life. The IMPD Mounted Patrol give you Polka Boy, Polo, and a perfect evening August 24th at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Tickets and info at impdmountedpatrol.org.
The Cubs travel to Philadelphia to face the Phillies Wednesday night at 7. on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
No shirt, no shoes, no dives.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
I can't believe you guys don't like Guy Kamose. What happened here? Here comes the hot stepper. I just got ripped here. Matt Murray just said, terrible analogy. More like Nate Dogg and Warren G. All right, I'll take that. I just like, here comes the hot stepper. I think we need more of that. JMV, Meek Mill and Future, a bit more well-known than the hot stepper. 90s equivalent might be a lesser-known Wu-Tang member. And Dougie Fresh. J. Cole, Digital Underground. Mike Black, When You Live in Bedford, Indiana, and they're a picture of a bunch of toothless hillbillies. Stop, JMV, talking about hip-hop, please, for the love of God. Coolio was never on any tier. Yes, he was. Mid-90s, he was on a tier. Fantastic Voyage and Gangster's Paradise put him on a tier. He had a 2 decent song career. That's a tier, though. 90s second tier comparison would be more like Warren G, Fat Joe, Mystical, E40, Naughty by Nature, Mace, etc. All right. Man, you guys are all getting pissed. I'm trying to make you pissed. John Matthews says that Jacoby Brissett throws a better deep ball than Matt Ryan. Man. John Matthews, a.k.a. Don Coryell. JMV, Winston and Mariota, 2 unavailable. Brissett and Andy Dalton. I ride Jacoby and factor in Cousins' contract. Yeah, John. Right now, Brissett probably could challenge for a Washington and Dolphins job. Realistically. I'd buy that. Look how mad you guys are about that. I'm trying to make anybody mad. It's from Michael Gigi. That takes me back to the Hot Night at Night on ZPL with Adam Ritz. Yeah, I believe the Naughty Yachties play on Friday, by the way. Speaking of Adam Ritz of Yacht Rock Radio, the Naughty Yachties, local yacht rock group, play at the Vogue on Friday, if you need that. They are really good, too. You'll enjoy it. Love the Vogue. Love that. Joshua Pennington checks in with this. With all the luck injuries, does this make you dislike Grigson even more? I just feel we wasted some good years on luck. There wasn't much help side there after the first 3 years. There's no question about that. I don't hate anybody. But, you know, to write a brown nose and say that he was good at that. I mean, he had a fantastically good start, much of which was decision-wise made by Jim Irsay with Andrew Luck and going from one era to the other. But after that, after 3 years, he wouldn't do anybody any favors. But nah. There's no hatred there for sure. I always thought this of Grigson. I thought he was a really good grinder / scout, but front of the organization just probably was not going to be long-lasting there. Yeah, give him credit for T.Y. Hilton. Hey, that first year, he was executive of the year. They don't just hand that stuff out. He did earn it. But as far as longevity was concerned, the plan wasn't solid. I think we can all agree with that. Yeah, thanks for asking, though. But now there's no hatred here. That's silly. JMV, I just want the truth about his injury instead of the facts. I don't know. That's about as far as you're going to get right now, I think, is what plays into it. That's it. Hey, JMV, I think the Reds should make the uniforms they wore yesterday their permanent uniform. Classic, clean, cool. Your thoughts? I would like that much better than what they normally wear. I would go back. I want the era of the V-neck, because me and V-necks are like right here, correct? Go back to the white V-neck and then the road gray Cincinnati across the front. I'd go back to that. But no, I didn't mind that yesterday. I do like it. I don't like the new C thing with the C and, Yeah, that's, I think, something else that's generational right there. I'm not a big fan of it. Hey, John, before the top of the hour, John, you have something you want to share? What do you got?
Yeah, first of all, real quick, I think every team in sports needs to go back and wear the old Tampa Bay Buccaneer creamsicle uniforms.
You know, the fact
that best.
That's stupid. It's like that and the Astros. The Astros need to go back to the orange of the late 70s. I mean, it's silly. We're talking about uniform greatness. It's not, just some kind of cult follow. It's greatness here. Yes, embrace the greatness. And while we're at it, the Dolphins going back to that original Dolphins logo away from that bullcrap they have now has to be. Has to happen.
Absolutely. Yep. Hey, real quick, I know you got to go to a break. I think what really discouraged me on Ryan Grigson that he really didn't make a very good decisions was that one year when we needed a safety back there and Landon Collins was sitting right there and he chose to pick up Philip Dorsett. To me, that's when I was like, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, it's funny. I had Landon Collins on, and I just kind of asked in passing, so did they. The Colts ever reach out to you? He said he never received a call, so...
My gosh.
Yeah,
okay.
That's
well,
never received a call of interest or anything. John, thank you for the call. Anytime. Yeah, there's no hatred there. You can just kind of see a difference. The difference in the path where, he was going and they were going then compared to this one right now is like a 180. And we'll see where it leads. Hey, say what you want. I mean, the first 3 years, they went step by step and got to the AFC title game. This version of the Colts have yet to reach the AFC title game. But, still early stages. But you do give credit where credit is due. I mean, that was, you can all put it on luck or whatever, but the first 3 years, they go to an AFC title game and then, blow all chances of any good karma by squealing, by ratting on, ratting out, blowing the whistle on some ridiculous thing about air and balls, which made everybody the laughing stock. And I think made the Patriots more powerful than ever before. It's like when Vader killed Obi-Wan Kenobi. Only in reverse. I don't know. I'm just making crap up. Holders next.
Sports with Dan Dockich.
Darius Leonard, the Maniac, joins us now. You've been very vocal, have you not, about, using all this stuff as motivation, correct?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, man. Definitely not whining. Definitely don't really care. I just use it straight for motivation, just adding fuel to the fire to just let them know that I see the disrespect, and I'm going to keep using it to show that I'm the best on the field, and I'm going to keep playing and practicing to show that.
Dan Dockich, weekdays, noon till 3 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
I'm Rorden Shane, fourth-generation jeweler. I tell my friends who are shopping for an engagement ring to see what's out there. Do research online, visit jewelry stores in person, ask questions, look around, then come to Shane Company last. You'll see with your own eyes that you get a prettier diamond for your money at Shane Company than anywhere else. For the center stone, we have many more diamonds to choose from in every shape and size. If you're considering a center stone with color, we have thousands of loose sapphires and rubies in every price range. Most jewelers don't even offer loose rubies and sapphires, and all of ours are natural, never lab-created. You'll always find hundreds of new ring styles for every budget, from classic to halo to vintage to three-stone rings. Our unrivaled warranty is free for a lifetime and even covers the center stone. Come in today and we'll show you how to build an affordable engagement ring that's beautiful from every angle.
Now you have a friend in the diamond business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
PAI, WeGrowHairND.com. Real growing hair again. Who out there wants it? Who out there needs it? There's a difference here. You may need it. I think mostly, 65% of the dudes out there need it when you're over 35 years of age. It's just a natural thing. I mean, you start losing your hair, but who wants it? Who does not want to lose that hair? Well, look into multi-unit hair grafting or artist robotic FUE because that gets your real growing hair going. Again, nothing fake about it. There's no hair plugs or anything like that. It's just your real growing hair again with PAI. 888-724-5129. Darren Andrews with that private consultation will explain to you in full detail completely about what you can do to get your real growing hair again and how PAI can help you. 888-724-5129. WeGrowHairND.com today.
You forget something?
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to be able to pick up Braden tonight after practice.
Oh, did something come up at work?
Nah, not even going to make it in today.
Why? What's going on?
Well, I'm coming up on some construction in about a quarter mile. I've already started ignoring the signs. In a minute, I'll force my way through traffic while texting. I'll pull the wheel a little too far and drive right through the barrels where I'm going to hit a few workers. One of them is going to get killed, so then I'm going to be arrested and charged with vehicular manslaughter.
No one plans on having an accident, but you can plan to avoid one. Read the signs. Slow down. Stay alert.
This is Ward Daniels, business manager of Labor's Local 120. Every year, not only do accidents in the construction zone kill and injure workers, they can also cost you, the driver, thousands of dollars and time in jail.
A message from Indiana Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Luke Bryan.
Sunrise, sunburn, sunset.
The Sunset Repeat Tour. This Sunday night, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center.
Proud of what makes you country.
Luke Bryan, live, with special guest Cole Swindell, John Langston, and DJ Rock. Get access to preferred seating with your City card. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
It takes courage to talk with that someone special when there are problems in the bedroom. Erectile dysfunction, or PE, can shatter your confidence and make your relationship challenging. You can put an end to these issues. Have the courage to make just one confidential visit to the Indianapolis Men's Clinic and get that spark back in your relationship. The doctors at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic offer the latest solutions for all ED and PE issues, and you'll see results in your first visit, or there's no charge. Call 999-9000 to meet with their licensed providers, no matter your age or your conditions. Diabetes, high blood pressure, prostate cancer, low testosterone causing your issue. It doesn't matter. They can help. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. That's 999-9000, or online at indymensclinic.com. Have the courage to take that first step. Indianapolis Men's Clinic, your key to a better life.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Save $150 by purchasing 4 Big O brand tires with qualifying purchase on your Big O credit card. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BV, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Hey, we're talking a lot of Colts tomorrow. We got Champy on at 12:30. We're going to see if he thinks Andrew Luck is going to play. And we have Matt Taylor on. Matt's going to join us on Tuesdays through the year. I like it.
The Ride with JMV.
Well, we're waiting.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
John, thank you for joining us. Rick Venturi, you guys are asking, begins his run here on the 26th of this month. Rick is back the 26th. Just so you know, thanks for asking, too. Hey, September the 16th, Teachers Treasures, JMV Sucks Golf Outing, Legends Franklin, be there. I'll remind you again, coming up in just a little bit, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, The Athletic and Stephen Holder joins us. What'd you make? Well, listen, I want to start here. I don't want to ask you what you made of what Reich had to say today, but I did read your tweet earlier about saying, hey, next Monday, that's when things are going to start to really get thick if he is not back by then.
Yeah, look, I think it's not a drop-dead kind of situation or anything, right? But I think in terms of tension and apprehension, yeah, I think it escalates a little bit if Andrew Luck goes another week and we don't see him. I'm not surprised he won't be out there this week. We knew that he wouldn't be out there for this current block of practices that got done today. They're off tomorrow, and then the Browns are in here. But today he eliminated the possibility of coming back later in the week as well. So not stunned by that. Give him another full week, and I think that makes sense. But they're not even looking at it like that. They're looking at it like this, which is when he's ready, he's ready. And if that takes another day, if that takes another week, then they're going to do that. But But again, my issue, as I've said before, it's not so much about will he play. I don't think we're there yet. I think the question for me right now, or the issue for me, is less about will he play, and it's more about how he'll play. If he's limited, that changes things. That is a game changer. If he's not 100%, that changes the output you get from Andrew Luck.
You know, it's funny, too. The story kind of changes because you hear often, well, you missed practice and that's not good. But then with Luck, it's always, well, if he misses practice, it's okay because he's working it, behind the scenes. He's still doing the work and, still grinding away. I mean, what's right in all this? Because you can't get past the fact, Stephen, that if he misses significant time, that there's no way that I feel that he's going to be able to start the season like you would want him to start the season in L.A. in week 1. It just seems like that's kind of out of the question to me, where he wants to be or where you'd want him to be.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think I agree with that. I think that I think he can play on very limited practice. I mean, I've seen enough of Andrew Luck over the years to not necessarily overreact to him missing practice, right? I get that, and that is true. But I think you look at last season, and I think you saw a guy who was healthy for the first time in a long time, right? And what did he do last year? He played at a level we haven't seen him play maybe for quite some time, and I think it had to do with his health. It really had a direct correlation to his health. He wasn't missing practice like he was in 15 and 16, right? In 2015, he was beat up, right? I mean, he was a mess. It was like the operation game, right? He had all this stuff going on, the shoulder, the ribs, then obviously the kidney. And I think his play reflected that. He wasn't sharp. 2016, they don't do the surgery. He rehabs it, but he's in the training room every freaking day. And I think there were some games in 2016 where Andrew Luck, it was a little bit of a roller coaster, but he was overall pretty good. But again, championship level football, probably not, right? So I think that is the key there, is when he's healthy, like he was last year, I think you saw the best of Andrew Luck. So if they want to contend, well, they can't contend with Andrew Luck at less than 100%, or certainly wherever he is now. He needs to be closer to 100%. So that's the question, and that is really where the apprehension lies.
Stephen Older, The Athletic, joins us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Away from Luck, I'm sure we may return, but away from that for a moment, you have Luck, you have Sheard, you have obviously the odyssey that we've seen Paris Campbell, injury-wise, go through so far. Did he have a bit of a setback? Is that how it was explained to you guys today?
It sounds like he did, and he was on the cusp. They thought they might get him back in the next day or two, and I guess that has now changed. So I still don't think Paris Campbell is a guy who could be out necessarily. I don't think this is an IR situation or anything like that. But certainly, is he going to be back in the next few days? That may not be the case. I think with Paris Campbell, that one hurts them a little bit because he is a rookie, and he's a rookie who they're going to ask to do different things than he did in college. So in order for him, I think, to step in and be able to do that, he needs to be on the field. He needs to practice. He needs those reps, and he's not getting them. I think it's going to set him back. There's no way this doesn't set him back, right? I mean, it's going to be a matter of how he deals with that setback and how quickly he can sort of reacclimate. But Paris Campbell, I think, is going to be affected by this loss of opportunity he's had. The good news in the meantime is that a lot of these receivers are stepping up. I mean, I'm seeing a really heated situation at receiver. They're going to end up cutting one or two guys they really love, and I just think that's just the way it is. But that's a good sign for your football team.
Is there anybody you think that might be, I don't want to say on the outside looking in, I don't really know how to phrase it other than who's kind of got some catch-up to do right now? Because, you're talking about Deion Kane has looked good to many. Reese Fountain has looked good to many. Where are we right now? Who might be on the outside looking in, or who has some ground to make up over the next couple of weeks?
Well, it's interesting. Everybody has, of that group you mentioned, like all these guys have an argument they can make on their behalf, right? So even go to Chester Rogers, and the argument for Chester Rogers, I know no one's heard his name. You read our tweets, no one's talking about Chester Rogers, and there's a reason for that, right? He's kind of just he's not that interesting, right? He just kind of does his job, right? But I haven't seen drops. I haven't seen inconsistency. He just doesn't really flash. But look, right now, he's the only guy I trust to put out there to field a freaking punt. Okay, I'm just being honest. So is that enough to save his job? Maybe. It might be, because you certainly can't have a punt returner putting it on the ground. So that's one.
I'm sorry. No, you go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, and so anyway, so you can go to Zach Pascal, same thing, right? He's their kick returner. But I think they have some options there, so that may hurt him. I just think in terms of upside, the guys at the upside right now are Deion Kane, certainly Deion Kane, Reese Fountain, tons of upside. This kid's confident for the first time. And I think it's because I talked to him today at length, and one of the things that Reese Fountain told me is that I think in college he probably got by on just being a damn good athlete at the FCS level, right? Because he's probably better than everybody else on the field in the FCS. But I think at this level, he understands now, okay, I got to bring it, I got to study, I got to learn the game. And so he's done that, and I think the performance is reflecting that. Krishan Hogan as well is really putting in some good work, and I think deserves a look.
Yeah, I mean, you get in Marcus Johnson and guys like that as well. It's just
Marcus Johnson, I think, has a lot of work to do. I just haven't seen it from him. I'm a little surprised by that.
Do the Colts want Nyheim Hines to return punts? Would they rather have that as their number one option? If he could catch.
I think it's an option.
Would they want that as the number one? Would they want that? Would they?
Right.
Is that what they would want?
In other words, is he too valuable for him? I would say that right now he does have a lot of value in the offense, especially with Campbell down. Because remember, I think there's some duplication between Campbell and Nyheim Hines because of that slot receiver role and sort of some of the types of plays they're going to run with those guys. There's a little bit of duplication there. But until Campbell gets going, those plays are going to go to Nyheim Hines. So he's an important guy in their offense. I mean, he got 60 balls last year, okay? I mean, that's a lot. I mean, granted, a lot of them were of the short variety. I understand that. But I mean, that's a lot of receptions for a running back in this league. So Nyheim Hines does have a big role, and they would have to decide whether they're comfortable with that. I think they would be okay putting him on punts, but the question is less about exposing him and probably more about can they count on him? Yeah. I don't think it's something he's ever done full time. So it's just not somewhere where you can have any kind of doubt. You put that ball on the ground on punts and you're losing that game most likely.
Well, and I've talked to him a couple of times in the offseason. I know you've talked to him a bunch as well. That's something that he wants to do. I mean, he wants to be readily available in multi areas, and that's being one. And I often thought, do they want Chester back there, or is it just right now they can count on him, as you mentioned, but they actually wouldn't mind to have the elusiveness, the athleticism, the speed, what have you, of Nyheim Hines? It's just that they can't completely count on him back there.
Well, I think they would love to have options. And the reason for that is kind of what I got at earlier. It's like, do you want to keep Chester Rogers on the roster solely because, we need him for punts? And I'm not saying that's his only value. No, I mean, Chester Rogers had 500 yards receiving last year, right? Okay, so that's a very big contribution. So I don't want to disrespect him. I'm hoping I'm not doing that. What I am saying, though, is when I talked about upside and just athletic ability and things of that nature, they have some guys, I think, with higher upside, and it's going to boil down to, can we trust them? Can we trust Reese Fountain? Can we trust other guys to play that role and say, all right, well, if we find a guy who can handle the punt returns, maybe we can part with Chester Rogers. It's a puzzle, right? But I think we're heading to a situation where they just may keep 6 receivers. I mean, that's kind of where we're going with this, I think. So we'll have to see where it goes. But it'd be nice to have options on punt returns, and then that gives you a choice with Chester Rogers, and it just depends. Do you want that experience on the roster, a guy who in his 4th year, versus young guys who haven't done it under the light?
Stephen Holder of the Athletics on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Vanilla, not a lot put into it preseason game 1, but is there anything that you can take away negatively by the fact that without Costanzo, that offensive line in that first series, second series got worked?
They did. I mean, it is what it is. They definitely did. The one thing I'd say is no Costanzo, no Ryan Kelly. I mean, those are two of your best guys, right? And I think what that is a reminder of is that it takes all five. It just really does take all five. And I think when you're missing key pieces, I mean, Costanzo, I cannot emphasize enough how critical a piece he is. Go back to the start of last season, that 1-5 start. I mean, there were a lot of factors, but one huge factor was Anthony Costanzo not being in the lineup. I will always stand by that. I think that was one of the things that really undermined them. It hurt Frank Reich's play calling. If you can't trust your left tackle, there are some things you're just not going to be able to ask your quarterback to do. And so that was a factor. It just sort of devolved from there. So anyway, the point is, I don't think it's all a result of who is playing on the offensive line, but it is a factor. But still, I think they certainly need to step it up this week. They got a big test. Look, Myles Garrett and some of these guys in Cleveland, they're going to bring it. And I think this is going to be a very interesting test, and it's going to be up to them to show that they're ready for it. I want to see what they do in practice. That really, I think, will be more telling than what you see on Saturday evening. So Wednesday and Thursday are going to be huge.
These joint workouts with other teams, is that something that, to a man, organizationally on the coaching staff, they like, or would they rather not have another team involved?
Oh, the coaches want it 100%. 100%. Because, look, I will tell you, the stuff that we see in practice is much more, I guess, much more reminiscent of what you will see on Sundays versus the preseason games. I'm talking about in terms of the number of reps the starters take. That's one thing. In terms of the play calling, things of that nature, you're going to see things that you actually see on Sundays, right? So I just think that right now, what you're going to get in the preseason, if you talk to Frank Reich, for example, I've talked to him about his preseason play calling, and he openly admits it's a joke. Okay, he's just not going to show anything. Now, you will show some of that stuff in practice, and that's how I think you can start to get a better gauge of where you're at. You know, now we're running the stuff we're going to run week one. Let's see how it works against an actual NFL team, someone we can't predict. And I think that's just a really good education process. So they like that.
How much do they show in these joint workouts with other teams compared to how much they show, let's say, in a week 3 preseason game?
Oh, a lot more. And it'll be interesting, though, because, you know, Cleveland, is Cleveland on schedule this year? I'm trying to remember. I think they may be. So, I mean, that'll be interesting. I just think that in these joint practices,
They are not, by the way.
They're not. My mistake. But that makes more sense. You don't want to practice against someone who's on your schedule. But anyhow, I think they'll show a lot. If they were on the schedule, maybe that would change things. But certainly against this, in these joint practices, remember these preseason games, that film is distributed to the league, right? Everybody can see that. And not these joint practices. Yes, you have the film, the other team has the film, right? So that's something that's kind of kept close to the vest. So you can kind of throw it all out there. Look, we see gadget plays in practice. We see that stuff. You're never going to see that in a preseason game. You know, they're just not going to put that on tape, right? So I think it's going to be much more representative of what you will see in the regular season than what you see in these preseason games.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I would. It seems like in the controlled situation, it'd be hard to replicate actually a game, even if you are being vanilla, and even if it is a preseason game 3. But yeah, it's funny when T.Y. Hilton answered the question about it. He doesn't like it because he says there's too many fights and get-togethers in that thing. So.
Well, they might be fighting, trying to, from their frustration, trying to guard T.Y. Hilton because, I mean, I don't expect it to go well for them. I'm just telling you, T.Y., he's on fire. He said it today. He said, well, you know, I think it was Zach Kiefer that asked him, hey, you know, what kind of camper you have and how's it going? He said, well, 29 of 30. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, 30 targets, 29 catches. I'm like, all right, well, you know what? We're done here. T.Y. is,
Are we setting the stage for him having his best season ever?
And listen, man, he's flirted with that all-pro level a couple of times now, right? And And if he gets his quarterback where he hopes to be health-wise, then he's got a chance. Listen, you got Frank Reich in year 2, all right? And I think last year, honestly, if you talk to Frank, they were just getting started in this scheme, right? He feels like they've got a lot of room to grow. And then I think with T.Y. and Andrew and them being in sync the way they are, I mean, listen, Andrew missed an entire year, and the first day of training camp last year, he rolls out of bed and hooks up with T.Y. Hilton like it was no big deal. So I think they're going to have that no matter how much time Andrew misses. So they're always going to have that. He's got he's got Frank Reich, and he's got other weapons that defenses are going to have to pay heed to, right? So it's a great situation for T.Y., the best situation he's ever had.
It looks like Andrew's going to be rolling out of bed again this year. So, that's the way it looks right now.
Done it before.
I did want to ask you a question of the diva wide receiver. And the Colts don't have an issue with that certainly right now at all. But is the diva wide receiver necessary for the conversation/debate that is overwhelmingly necessary in the NFL with its fans and the media coverage? Is it still necessary as long as it's not on your team?
In terms of
the conversation, the debate, the conversation. I mean, let's just say
be a problem.
Yeah, would it be too vanilla, too non-discussion worthy without the presence of a diva wide receiver? Because we all say you can't have it and you don't want it, but sure as hell we all love talking about it endlessly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would probably make our lives less interesting in the media, for sure. I mean, what would we talk about, right? If there was no Odell Beckham, right? And if he didn't post some Instagram video that got everybody talking, right? What would we talk about? I mean, come on. First Take, there wouldn't be, or whatever they're calling it these days. I mean, right? Would they even have anything? Would they have a show? You know? So, yeah, I mean, look, diva wide receivers, that has always been a thing. It's always kind of fueled conversation. Go back to Terrell Owens, right? Michael Irvin. I mean, this is not new. This has been happening for 20 plus years, right? And these guys have always been, center of attention. As long as you bring it on Sunday, I guess at the end of the day, it's all good. But I don't know if what Antonio Brown's doing is considered diva. That's a different level. What that is
petulant. That's petulant wide receiver right there. Yeah.
There's diva, and then there's this, and I don't even know that there's a word for what we're seeing here. This is something else.
And the NFL will not allow him to wear the helmet that he wants. Therefore, he has mentioned if he's not allowed, he was going to retire. However, he has via Instagram said that he can't wait to get back on the field with his teammates. So whatever. And if you're coaches, I mean, you're kind of forced to deal with it and say, I backed this guy up, even though I think most people out there would suggest John Gruden's probably not completely backing up, at least privately, what Antonio Brown's been doing recently.
I just want to know how much popcorn Mike Tomlin's eating right now. Okay, because he's sitting back and laughing his tail off. I mean, how could he not, right? I mean, he's got to feel vindicated. Like, I tried to tell you. And that's Mike Tomlin right now, probably Big Ben as well, right? Because it's just, look, the leopard can't change the spots, man. You can change cities, but he is who he is. He's not a bad guy. I don't think Antonio Brown's a bad guy. It's just that there's just some stuff you got to deal with him, man. And it's a matter of whether you're willing to cope with it or not. And I'm just going to tell you, there's a lot of teams that just aren't willing. Bottom line.
Yeah, it's funny about it, too. I was an advocate in suggesting that level of player, even if it came with that type of baggage. And this is after the Colts lost at Arrowhead last January because of what I saw. My whole thought was I felt that at the time the Colts needed somebody equal to or greater than T.Y. because they were completely stoned by a Chiefs defense where they were so good, apparently they cleaned house on it when they were done after they lost to New England. And that still kind of sets with me how easily they manhandled the Colts, and the Colts offensively could do nothing with a group that had to absolutely have their house cleaned after the season. I mean, top to bottom defensively.
I think I still go back to one thing in that Kansas City game that really, I believe, set a tone. And I think the Colts got beat up front. And that was what was the most shocking thing to me. And so from there, everything crumbled from there, all right? when Quentin Nelson and Ryan Kelly and these guys, when they're getting whipped up front for whatever reason, I just don't know. I don't know if they ran out of gas. I don't know. Playing on the road, whatever. But for whatever reason, they didn't have their best stuff right up front. And I think it crumbled from there. And so Luck's performance was impacted. The receiver's performance was impacted. T.Y. ran out of gas for sure. T.Y. just didn't have it. And I mean, there's no knock. I mean, this guy was playing with a freaking, serious high ankle sprain. I mean, that's a Superman right there doing that for 3 weeks. But the point is, I just think their offense that day, they did themselves no favors. They didn't execute. They got beat physically. And then, like I said, it all crumbles from there. So, would a healthy T.Y. have helped that? Probably. Would it have been enough? I don't know that it would have been. So we'll see. But I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. They didn't have a lot. They didn't have any explosion that day. They had no explosiveness in their offense, and you can't play with Kansas City when you don't have that.
Yeah, that's just that occurred to me as something that may be troublesome, but we'll see. Hey, by the way, I wanted to mention that you have your latest article is with somebody you covered while in Tampa, Rondé Barber, and the comparison in him talking about what Kenny Moore is going through and why the Colts deem Kenny Moore so valuable to keep him on longer term. That's your latest, correct?
Yeah, and so basically in a nutshell, they play basically the exact same defense, right? A version of the Tampa 2 defense. And look, every team has slot corners, but they're not all the same. And what they have to do in this defense is really it goes above the call of duty. And I just think Rondé did a superb job. I appreciate him taking the time. Superb job of explaining why it's different and how it compares to what you have to do in other schemes and why Kenny Moore is a good fit for it. So there's a reason he got $33 million. He's not your garden variety, run-of-the-mill slot corner.
The Athletic, Stephen Holder, that's his latest. You can catch him right now on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline and read all his material at the Athletic. Thank you, Stephen. I'll see you out there Wednesday and Thursday.
All right, my man. See you.
Stephen Holder, the Athletics on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Quick one, Meek Mill, future tickets before the top of the hour. We'll get you guys in on that. You, me on the other side. How about that? Whether you want to talk about Colt stuff, we can do that. Browns Colt stuff later on this week, we can do it. I'll be out there Wednesday and Thursday as mentioned. Chris Denary earlier talked about the NBA schedule release. The Pacers' 6 nationally televised games, all of which begin after February, which helps you understand that they're banking on the league, banking on Vic being back by then. But 6 nationally televised games and all. We'll talk to Chris Denary about that earlier. Bob Kravitz of The Athletic also with us about luck and so many other things. 1075thefan.com is where you go. Find all that. And stuff from last week, too. By the way, great job, Kyle, of getting John Lovitz on here. He was outstanding on Friday. Just as I thought he would be. Outstanding. All right, Meek Mill, future tickets before we bail. Tell you about tomorrow's show coming up. Your calls a little bit more. Antonio Brown's not going to be able to wear his helmet. Will he retire? Says he's going to come back and he's ready to play for the Raiders. We'll talk about that. A lot more to close it out in the final 30 next.
This is the Colts Review on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Live from the Power Home Solar Radio Studio, here's the voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor.
Welcome to the Colts Review, presented by First Financial Bank. The Colts practiced earlier today at training camp at Grand Park, powered by Carano. They'll have an off day tomorrow and then square off against the Browns on Wednesday and Thursday for those joint practices. Are the Colts any closer to finding out who their best receivers are? We'll hear from offensive coordinator Nick Sirianni on the depth of that group in just a minute.
As a fan, you know what it means to believe in something, to truly support and get behind it, to be committed and invested in making sure your team succeeds. At First Financial Bank, your success is our success. When you share your goals with us, our local team will help you realize all the possibilities for achieving them. We provide a personalized experience you won't find anywhere else. Because as your number one fan, we put your success first. First Financial Bank, member FDIC. Learn more at bankatfirst.com.
The Colts have some really tough decisions to make in the coming weeks. How many cornerbacks will they keep? Who stays and who goes on the offensive line and defensive line? But maybe the toughest call they'll have to make is how many receivers make the regular season roster and who those players will be. That's an unenviable position to be in because seemingly every receiver has made plays in camp. Krishan Hogan, Reese Fountain, Marcus Johnson, Zach Pascal, All of them are battling for roster spots. And OC Nick Sirianni talks about how far that group has evolved so far this camp.
Those guys are competing. I can't say enough for how much, how Kevin Patullo has really has been able to develop his position group. And, I see development big time, particularly with Reese Fountain, Marcus Johnson. Deion Kane is coming along now. He had a great practice yesterday. I don't want to miss anybody, but they're all competing there for all those positions, all those 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions.
6 receivers on the roster could be this year with how talented the Colts are at that position, and we'll continue to watch how that race progresses towards September. Now that's it for the Colts Review today, presented by First Financial Bank.
Hey race fans, Big Joe here, and the Chevy Performance U.S. Nationals returns to Lucas Oil Raceway Labor Day weekend, and the fan has an exclusive opportunity for you, the listener. The Pit Crew VIP experience with Clay Milliken, driver of the Parts Plus Top Fuel Dragster, and this will include reserve race tickets, photos with Clay, a tour of his pit area, plus hang out with me a bit on Saturday. All you have to do is go to 1075 The Fan and register for this VIP Pit Crew experience with Clay Milliken. For race information, go to NHRA.com. Speed for all.
All right, it's Window Nation's anniversary sales event. This event can only happen once a year, so Window Nation is pulling out all the stops. 60% off any style window. You heard that right, 60% plus 0% interest for 60 months, 5 years, same as cash payments. Why? Well, because they love their great customers, and what better way to celebrate their anniversary than giving you the best prices they can. Since Window Nation first opened, they've had the pleasure of installing, listen to this, over 450,000 windows in over 80,000 beautiful homes, saving families over $40 million in energy bills. So they thank you for your business, for over 10,000 positive online reviews and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. It's their anniversary, but it's you, their customers, listeners, who keep them going year in and year out by putting your trust in them, saving unheard of 60% off any style window plus 0% for 60 months. Limited offer. Their teams will be working overtime to keep up with the demand. Call 866-90-NATION now or visit windownation.com.
John, for CarX, I got to get it over there. The Tundra's got to go over for a little therapeutic treatment here. That's exactly what you get. I mean, really, it's been a long, hot summer. Your brakes, maybe a squeak or a grind here or there. How about taking it to CarX, car, truck, or van today, and with this great deal. Are you ready? New brake pads, 1-year warranty, just $89 per axle. Most vehicles includes installation, just $109 per axle with a lifetime warranty. That is a fantastic thing. Plus this, how is your AC running right now? Is it limping to the finish? Get that thing checked up right now. Make sure everything's running correctly for just $19.99. The Joe Childers Run CarX locations in Central Indiana are the absolute best. In fact, I take mine to 135 in Greenwood, right there in front of Menards, because they do great work. But anything that's run by Joe Childers, you're going to have great work. And you can trust everything top to bottom mechanically that you need done on your car, truck, or van with my friends at CarX. Tell them I sent you. CarX today.
Let's be honest, a jewelry store is not where most guys want to be. Guys like Paul Goodall.
First-time diamond buyers, most of us are engagement ring buyers. We have no idea whatsoever what we're walking into, and we push it off, and we push it off, and we push it off.
But like so many other men, Paul was pleasantly surprised when he walked into Diamonds Direct.
When you go in, you don't have to have a big background in gemology. They don't look down the end of their nose at you, as you would find in some other places, and make you uncomfortable because you're not an expert in diamonds.
But by the time he left, Paul was an expert in diamonds, because Diamonds Direct took the time to educate him, show him the inside secrets of the industry, and give him the tools to make a smart decision.
They do a really, really good job of laying out the information for you and not pressing you.
Diamonds Direct, a guy-friendly jewelry store where you're always treated with respect.
The great thing about Diamonds Direct is they alleviate that stress.
So relax, guys. It's Diamonds Direct. We've got your back. Get directions and store hours now at diamondsdirect.com.
Do you have Medicare and Indiana Medicaid? With Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, you could be getting so much more. Anthem may provide up to $2,000 towards dental, $0 copays on many prescriptions, and up to $1,320 for over-the-counter healthcare items. Get more out of your Medicare and Medicaid coverage. Switch today. Call 866-649-8826. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is an HMO special needs plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield depends on contract renewal.
Welcome to the Knotfest Roadshow, the North American Tour 2019, featuring Slipknot, Volbeat, Gojira, and Behemoth for one night only. The Knotfest Roadshow, this Friday at Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Check more at knotfestroadshow.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Don't read your email, because I'm really butthurt when you read your email.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Welcome back. My fake cry. It's really good. Kyle's over there. I'm John. Thank you for joining us. Steve in San Antonio tweeted at me with this. Tom Pelissero of NFL Network had a tweet earlier today, 4 o'clock hour. As the trade market picks up, one team to watch, the Colts. The Colts have a number at cornerback, wide receiver, and offensive line, and are getting calls. They're not shopping anyone, but could be active in the coming weeks if the offer is right. Tom Pelissero. Yeah, I don't know, Steve in San Antonio, if that means anything regarding Chester Rogers. It's just Jalen Collins, as you asked me here. I'm not sure if that means anything. I mean, certainly if you can get something as opposed to finding somebody that you have to cut, you know that they're not going to make your team, then you do that. We'll see. Thank you, Steve in San Antonio, for that. I appreciate it. From Matt Galt. While we're bringing back the cool retro baseball uniforms, got to bring back the hard plastic baseball hats too. I have a bunch. You know, I was lucky enough, Matt, a couple of years ago, I was doing a show at a liquor store, and some dude, and I can't remember his name, I believe it's Chris, brought me a bag full of like 6. And it was my favorites too back in the day. Yeah, favorites. I loved the Montreal hat. I loved it back then. I loved the Blue Jays hat back then. The Brewers with the MB that looks like the Emit. What was the other one? Oh, the Mariners. Yeah, the old Mariners one. But Chris, I believe, was the guy's name. Brought him by in a bag and just dropped him off. I still have them. Occasionally, I'll wear them on Drop Off Line Sports. JMV, I previously offered to be your comedy and movies after 1990 correspondent, as if I'm not dialed in. I'll now offer to be your hip-hop correspondent. Someone needs to shed light on those glaring blind spots. Ow, good Lord. That's a zinger right at me. Carl Van Roy. I need some Mary J. Blige tickets. My wife's 2 favorite artists, Nas and Mary J. Blige. I'm sorry I missed the first one. I don't know if we're giving those away. I know we're giving away Meek Mill and Future coming up in a minute. Hey, JMV, from what Bowen was saying, no one offered more than a 6th-round pick for Brissett. He's not a top 20 quarterback. He's a top 40 quarterback, though. Yeah, we've had that argument. John Easter, movies I have to watch if they're on. The Fugitive, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and Airplane. I can get well all 3 of those. I probably wouldn't do Airplane, but the first 2, absolutely. Oh, man, Chris is wanting to talk about blackout rules. Holy crap. I'm going to have to look into my book here. What do you got, Chris?
You know, you didn't bring it up, or I didn't hear it because I work for a living. But Thursday and Friday, you were going to these blackout rules.
I was. And, I think you were listening to another show.
I I think it was yours, weren't you? Didn't you have a cable host on there or a sports host on there that say why do you have blackouts here and there?
Yeah, I don't think that was me. Yeah, I don't think, but that's okay. I'm glad. Listen, I hope that you're listening to something else and think you're listening to me. That works just as well. That's good. That's good.
Anyway, to get back to, you can't watch the Cubs.
Okay.
You can't watch the Reds.
And I was talking about that. That might have been. I think Jeff and Joe have been complaining about that in the morning. It might be in the morning.
Was that
might
Jeff
have been them.
and Joe? Okay, well at least I get part of your stuff.
Yeah, 7 a.m., 3 in the afternoon. What the hell?
Right, but no, they didn't go in there. I'll call them in the morning.
That's fine. Okay, well, go. You got your hair, Chris. Go ahead, man. Unleash the beast. What's up?
No, you know what? I've never seen an Indianapolis 500. I'm 50 years old. I've been to the Brickyard once, and you can never drive me back to the Motor Speedway. And that they cannot put that on TV.
Okay, they can't, or they should. What?
Well, I don't know if they can or can't.
Well, they choose not to. Yeah, they did for the 100th because they had, according to them, sold out. So that's the only time they've done it. Yeah.
Right, and they're coming up in popularity this year because I've been watching their other races, and they're actually exciting. But Hoosiers kind of get short end of the stick.
Hey, how old you say you're going to be?
I'm 50.
You're 50 right now?
Yeah.
You sound like you're 70. Well, no. I'm going to be 50 in December, and I don't sound nearly as old as your ass. I don't.
Do you have your delay on?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm 50 years old, and I'm sitting here watching my 13-year-old play soccer in Greentown, Indiana. So I am not that old.
Well, I'm approaching 50, and you sound. Am I wrong about that, Kyle? Hey, don't take offense to this, Chris, because listen, my wife got on me for saying I'm not acting like a jerk, but sounding like a jerk here. And I'm not trying to act like one nor sound like one. But Kyle, does he sound a lot older than me? That's what I thought. I thought you were like 70. That's why I went, wait a minute, 50.
The reason you're a radio broadcaster is because you have a good voice.
I got a crappy voice, man. I do.
You carry
I got a crappy one. I was not dealt. You should hear it back in 1988. They handed me a shovel and said, no, don't go to school here for this. Here's a shovel.
Why am I bickering with you at 5:40 in the evening?
Because you're watching. It's better than watching your 13-year-old play soccer, apparently.
Have you seen 13-year-olds play soccer?
Oh, man. I have.
So, no,
hey,
I thought.
Yes, I got you. Hey, no hard feelings, though, okay?
Well, no, you called me a 70-year-old man. Of course there's hard feelings. So, anyway,
well, see if sleep on that and see if you can get over it, all right?
Okay, talk to you.
Hey, Chris, thank you. I didn't mean anything bad by it, but the dude sounded like he was 70 years old. And it just kind of struck me when he said, I just turned 50, and I go, well, wait a minute, I turned 50 in December, and I don't sound like this. I thought I was talking to Wilford Brimley. If you had to drop the diabetes on me, I'd go, oh, yeah. See, somebody asked my wife, all right, was that a jerk thing to say? Kyle, what do you think? See, you're going to have to start to become the voice of reason here, all right? There's no way around it. Was that a jerky thing to say?
I could see how people could think it would be a jerky thing to say, but it was true. He did sound like he was a little older than 50.
He did. No hard feelings, Chris. I'm glad you listen every day, even though clearly you listened to the morning show and mixed it up with mine. There's no way you're 50. Maybe that was part of the reason why I thought he was 70. Yeah, I had to be listening to you. You were listening to the 7 a.m. show. I'm going to go back and listen to this just to see how big of a jerk stick I sounded like and see if my wife is right. Final time. I'll get you guys back on board. Meek Mill future tickets as well. You guys sit tight.
Are kids better off in an intact family? You bet they are.
This is Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Kids living in a household with married parents do better in school, they're emotionally healthier, and they're more likely to stay out of trouble with the law. If you're in a troubled marriage, of course you should do everything you can to save your marriage, if only for your kids' sake. This includes considering alternatives to divorce. Of course, in some circumstances, divorce is unavoidable. In either case, if you're a man facing a crisis in your marriage, let us help you at Cordell & Cordell. Remember, we're the partner men can count on.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 317-322-0122 or visit online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Indianapolis. Cordell & Cordell, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
Let's talk about your real growing hair again with PAI. WeGrowHairEndy.com. Why? Because if you're over 35 years of age, you're probably experiencing it right now. Can I say that without getting somebody mad? It's just the way that it goes. Reality states that if you're over 35, 60+% of you dudes out there are losing your lettuce. Your ground coverage is going away. What can you do about it? Well, you have options, and that's thanks to PAI. Multi-unit hair grafting, artist robotic FUE, laser hair therapy, it all works. To get your real growing hair again with PAI, WeGrowHairEndy.com. Darren Andrews with a private consultation, 888-724-5129, or WeGrowHairEndy.com today.
Chronic headaches, constant sinus infections, pain and pressure. The fatigue was overwhelming.
That's Karen. She suffered for years with chronic sinus infections. She'd go to urgent care, see her doctor.
And we would do the same thing. Steroids, antibiotics, nasal sprays.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty.
Now my sinus cavities are open. You can breathe on a constant basis and not get sinus infections. I don't get headaches anymore. I don't take naps anymore. I'm like, oh, this is miraculous.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure? Is it difficult to breathe through your nose? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with the Indianapolis Sinus Center. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Running a business, you've relied on the big machine to keep your internet and voice services worry-free. But one day, your voice and internet stop working, costing you customers by the minute. So you place a call to the big machine, and you hear, "Hold the line." After several transfers and hearing,
"Oh, I am sorry, but you have the wrong department. Hold, please."
you realize you're with the wrong company. You call Teltec.
This is Teltec owner Troy Brasso. At Teltec, we take great pride in providing professional, hands-on support. Established businesses like Whole Wall Heating and Air and Carson Agency continue to experience the benefits of Teltec's customer care.
If you're a business of 10 to 200 employees or more, Teltec invites you to put an end to your reliance on the big machine and contact Teltec for a free review today. 317-390-8585 and click on simple123.biz. That's simple123.biz. Teltec.
Hey, John from BullseyeEventGroup.com. Colts VIP Tailgate. Get your passes. This year is going to be spectacular. State-of-the-art entertainment for your, listening, viewing, eating, drinking pleasure before every Colts home game inside the Bullseye Event Center. It is going to be even better. You'll love it. Game day experience made. Plus, Kyle Cadet's on it because here's what we're going to do in December. And I'm going to have to get Chris to come with me now to help celebrate me turning 50. Actually, that's not the reason, but I'm going to say that it is. We are all going to go on a trip to New Orleans with BullseyeEventGroup.com and watch the Monday Nighter in the old Superdome, now Mercedes-Benz Dome. That's a Monday night game. We're going to spend the weekend down there, and it is going to be spectacular with BullseyeEventGroup.com. I mean, just genius, really. A trip in December, just in time for the holidays. What a great gift-giving idea for the Colts fan and your family. And then the Colts VIP Tailgate, every single home game. It is the best thing you can do leading up to the game itself at Lucas Oil Stadium. Bullseye Event Center's the site. Colts VIP Tailgate, the place. info and get your passes and your tickets right now. bullseyeeventgroup.com.
Church Brothers Collision Repair has offered unparalleled service for over 3 generations, and we're proud to continue that tradition under a new name, Caliber Collision. From dents to dings to whatever the road ahead brings, our collision repair experts will always be ready when it comes to restoring the rhythm of your life and getting you back behind the wheel. Same high standards, all new name. Church Brothers Collision Repair is now Caliber Collision.
A Sport Clips Championship haircut experience makes you feel like your hair has its own walk-up music. Maybe you play sports. Maybe you play sports online. Or maybe your sport is keeping up with your kids. Your hair deserves its own walk-up music, and at Sport Clips, we make it easy. A game-changing cut from a stylist trained for guys while you're surrounded by sports. Hair this good needs no introduction, but you'll want one anyway. So download the app, check in, and get your hair in the game.
Hoosier fans, Indiana football tickets are on sale now for the 2019 season. IU football hosts 6 home games this fall, including matchups against Big Ten East rivals, the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Michigan Wolverines. Fans can purchase single-game tickets as low as $20 and $200 for season tickets. For complete ticket information, visit IUHoosiers.com today. Go IU!
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Save $150 by purchasing 4 Big O brand tires with qualifying purchase on your Big O credit card. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
The NTT IndyCar Series races at Pocono. Sunday at 2 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Collect them, trade them, or just enjoy them.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Yeah, there's that great radio voice right there. There it is. This date, 1991. It is commonly referenced as the son of a gun. I just dropped that in my crotch. Darn it. I hate when I do that. Commonly referred to as the Black Album. Hey, all you Metallica fans out there, is this the best Metallica album or the most overrated Metallica album? I'm going to put that out there. I'm going to put that out there and hope that Lars gets back with me and cusses me out for putting that out there. Is this the best album or the most overrated album? This date, 1991, Enter Sandman. Of course, is what I just played coming back in. Man, it's funny. This time of day, do you have that problem over there? This time of day, I drop stuff in my crotch and the computer goes foul here. You have computer problems over there? Maybe it's just me, man. Hey, JMV, I'm your last caller personified, IndyCar complainer. JMV, did you think he was 70 because he's in bed before they do air the 500? No, I didn't. I just thought he sounded like he was older than 50. And I'm approaching 50 here, and I mean in a hustle. And I thought he sounded a lot older than me. Steve Warren says you're on the radio not because you have the voice for it, but because you have the face for it. True dat. True dat. Now, I thought Chris was good. I hope he calls back in. Nick Martin writes this: I collected the baseball helmets from Dairy Queen as a kid. It took me a couple of summers of Sundays and trading, but I got there. Fred Johnson says, anybody still have those? I believe. What the hell's the place called in Broad Ripple? Check that. Sorry, over by Butler. It's over by that meat place that's by that Safeway. Sorry. Graders. Is it Graders? I believe Graders over by Butler has that for you. Graders. They don't have all the helmets, but they have enough. The nostalgia will come back to you. True story. This is from Nathan Helm. JMV, will tickets be available to the Colts tailgate party in New Orleans without purchasing the travel package? Man, that's a good question. Why the hell did I just read it? Because I can't answer it. I'm not sure. I want to say yes. Hey, Kyle Kinnett, if you're listening right now, man, text me, because Nathan asked a good question, and I've got my head up my butt. That's what you want right there. Hey, let's call the guy that knows, and he doesn't know anything. Hey, JMV, no wonder you make so many enemies like that dude at the pool yesterday. Hey, the dude at the pool has never met me. All right? I've always said this. The people, and there are very few that I cannot stand, I don't like, and that's their fault. Believe me. I talk, I hang, I love being around everybody unless you are one of the world's biggest jackasses, and then I won't have anything to do with you. That's on you. Seriously. If you don't like me, that's your fault. And I'm not saying radio stuff. Sure, there are a lot of people that don't like what I say on the radio. I get it. But if you don't like me personally, then you're a jackass, and it's your fault. And it's sure as hell not me. Would you agree with that? I mean, listen, well, I mean, besides that, but who? Seriously, everybody, man. Everybody. So if there's a reason why I don't like you, that's your fault. All your fault. And you better change your ways. Hey, JMV, I would say the Black Album was overrated, but maybe over-publicized. Maybe overplayed. All the material they did with Cliff was clearly far superior in my eyes. Yeah, it's just always people say, and I probably like the Black Album better than anything else. But everybody says, oh, man, you just like the commercial aspect of Metallica, not the Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning. And, Hey, Daryl, what you got, man?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here trying to get this. I spilled a bunch of stuff in my crotch. I'm stupid,
Hey, if that guy was 50, I'm 75. You know? What does he do? Smoke like 20 packs of Camels a day?
Hey, man, I feel bad. I don't want the guy to be mad at me or anything. And I'm trying to get over the fact that sometimes I say stuff and I don't realize it sounds horrible until after.
Dude, I'm going to be 60 this year. I don't think I sound 60.
You don't. I think you sound 50, though. I mean, you sound like me, Daryl.
Well, it's because I am 50. Yeah. Hey, the other reason for my phone call, when are you guys going to have a list out of where your Blue Fridays are going to be at?
Oh, yeah, good call. I don't know if we're completely set with the season just yet, but they normally have that done within a couple of weeks of the start of the season. So I'll let you know because we got to have you out there every week.
And one other thing, are you guys going to give away some of the trips to New Orleans like you did?
I believe Kyle Kinnett has that in the plans. Absolutely.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Daryl, you're a stud, man. Thank you. Hey, Meek Mill Future tickets. Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. Thank you, Kimmy. Kimmy Adamson is awesome. So's Kyle Johnson over there. You guys are great. Ruoff, Meek Mill Future, number 7, 239-1070 is going to go on us. Kyle, great job. Rakestraw tomorrow. Tom Allen, head coach of IU tomorrow. Todd Meyer, never. We love Todd around here. He knows that. Look at him. He got a fresh new haircut and everything. You turned back the clock with that haircut, brother. That looks good. Looks good. You didn't get a haircut? See, again, I got to take my wife's advice. I'm just digging a hole. Great job today. Denary Kravitz Holder, Podcast 107.5, thefan.com. You guys are fantastic. Back with you tomorrow. More fun stuff per usual at 3. Don't miss it.
Korn and Alice in Chains with special guests Under Oath and Fever 333. Ruoff Home Mortgage